against Deuce McAllister today?
I'll tell you, this is kind of a goofy little scenario that I came up with. You know me long enough to know that I'm pretty goofy.
Yes.
But I think the fact that he's not in there, Aaron Brooks has proven over time that he can't carry the team. You put him in a close ball game and ask him to move the ball down the field, he can do that. But I'm kind of thinking that now with Deuce being out of there, if the Saints should get down 14-0, that Mike Shepard really got to stick with his game plan, which is run the football. And by being able to do that, if they can do that, you can keep Michael Vick off the field and everything else, and you just scratch and claw your way back into the ball game as opposed to trying to get back into it on one play.
Bill Carollo is our referee.
Tails is called. It is a head. You want the toss, you want the ball. Which end you want to kick from?
Joe's back in action.
Joe Horn is definitely back in action.
New Orleans has won the toss.
That was him yelling heads.
And they've elected to receive. Good luck, men.
So the Saints will get the football against their oldest and bitterest rivals to start this game.
But kind of getting back to your question a little bit, yes, they're going to miss Deuce a lot, but maybe it'll make them stick to their game plan a little bit more because so often this season they've had to abandon it early in the ball game. And, you know, you sit there, but you look at Aaron Brooks' stats last week, you look at his stats in the Giants game, you look at his stats in the Minnesota game, and they were pathetic because you're asking him to carry the ball club, and I don't think that he can do that.
Well, Oz Hakeem is going to get an opportunity as a kickoff returner in this game. Aaron Stecker gets elevated to more prominence because of the loss of Deuce McAllister, so you can't really use him returning kicks. He only has a certain amount of stamina. Oz Hakeem is coming off that long, nagging hamstring injury. He's probably not at 100%, so you wonder how much Oz has to give to both this role and his role as a wide receiver in this offense.
Well, and I tell you what, in the last couple of weeks, I think that the thing that Fred McAfee has done, he's done a very respectable job of returning kickoffs. He's not going to be able, he's not the Fred McAfee of old where he can really break one, but he was getting the ball out past the 20, and I think that's as much as you can ask of a backup return man.
Rookie Michael Kanan steps into the football, and we are underway. It's a kickoff to the far side of the field, fielded at the 9 by Hakeem across the 20, upended as he crosses the 25-yard line.
Hakeem on the return for the Saints.
A return of between 19 and 20 yards before Ronnie Hurd, a backup safety, upends Oz Hakeem. So here comes this Saints offense without Deuce McAllister, who tore his ACL last week in that devastating loss to the Green Bay Packers. That 52-3 embarrassment. First and 10 Saints with the football at the New Orleans 27. They move it left to right as we view it. Ace formation, wideouts left and right, a tight end to either side, and one back. Here's Brooks to throw on first down, and it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage by defensive end Patrick Kearney. And again, that's a battle to watch today. Patrick Kearney operating against Jamar Nesbitt, who's playing at right tackle for Jamal Brown.
And I'll tell you something, if you were looking there, Aaron Stecker actually got the start. They came out in the ace formation. They put him in there instead of Antoine Smith. And again, going back to the battle out there with Jamar Nesbitt, I'm not a big fan of putting a guard at tackle.
And Aaron Stecker remains in there on 2nd and 10 from the 27. Pitch it to Stecker, sweeping right. Couple of blockers in front of him. Cuts it upfield, driven to the sideline, and thrown out of bounds up around the 33-yard line, where the linebacker Keith Brooking brings him down. A gain of 12 for... A gain of 6 for Stecker, and it brings up 2nd down. This Falcon defense 17th against the run, 12th against the pass, 12th overall. They have 18 sacks, second best in the NFL. 3rd and 4 from the 33-yard line. 2 wideouts to the left and 1 to the right. Brooks trying to draw the Falcons off sides with a hard count. Pulls it down and now throws it upfield. Incomplete, almost picked off by the safety Scott at the 41-yard line. Brooks pumped once, pulled it down, looked like he was going to run, decided to throw, and it was knocked down incomplete.
I'll tell you what, I mean, if you look at what the Falcons have done, at least on this first series that the Saints have had the ball, I mean, they're they're kind of all around the football. A guy gets it on a running play. Aaron Brooks right there. Everybody was collapsing on him. And a lot of white jerseys around him.
Here's Berger's punt. Alan Rossum coming up to field it. Calls for a fair catch and makes it right around his 25-yard line. So 3 and out for the Saints offense, and on comes this very dangerous Falcon offense, led by Michael Vick. Inactive a week ago with a sprained right knee. I watched him in warm-ups. He didn't seem to be favoring it. He's not wearing a brace on the knee, but he is wearing a protective sleeve. But then again, if the Saints don't slow down the running game, you're never going to see how effectively you can pass rush Michael Vick on a consistent basis, given his injury.
Well, I mean, he's just one of those types of talent that, I tell you what, he is one guy that I would pay to go watch play because, I mean, I think he brings that much excitement to the game.
1st and 10 Falcons from the Atlanta 26, their first offensive possession of this scoreless first quarter. Here's Vick, play action, steps up, delivers the football wide open. Algie Crumpler, the tight end, up to around the 47-yard line. Boy, Algie Crumpler has just killed the Saints on a very, very consistent basis. That's a pickup of 23 yards.
You know, really and truly, any good tight end in the league has caused the Saints a lot of problems, but especially Algie Crumpler. And as you were giving off the starting lineups and everything else, we said the very dangerous Algie Crumpler. You think a tight end that's 260 pounds, how dangerous can he be? Well, the Saints defense knows well about him.
On first down, handed off to Warwick Dunn, right side. Maybe gets a couple up to around the 49-yard line. And Courtney Watson's all excited about the fact that he was in on that tackle.
Yeah,
limiting Warwick Dunn to a 2-yard gain.
You know, I mean, I hate seeing that kind of stuff out of a guy. You know, I mean, if you're an established veteran player and all that kind of stuff, I mean, it ain't like Courtney Watson that, you know, he's on everybody's wish list for their, not the dream team, but the fantasy. Yeah, the fantasy stuff. I mean, he's on nobody's wish list.
2nd and 8 from the 49 of the Saints. Vick rolling to his left, keeping the football. He's going to take off with it. Forced to the boundary by Bockwald. And he will be forced out of bounds at the Saint 45-yard line, just short of the first down. Give him 6 on the carry. Michael Vick coming into this game had carried 32 times for 233 yards, an average of 7.3, 1 touchdown, and his longest gain, 32 yards. Didn't seem to be hampered by that sprained right knee there. The Falcons got some criticism last week, in particular J.L. Mora, for listing Vick as questionable all week when they knew from Wednesday on he wouldn't play. But a lot of people mess with that around the NFL. 3rd and 2 from the 45 of the Saints. Here's Vick handing it off to Dunn into a pile and squirts through for the first down. They had him at the line of scrimmage, but Charles Grant couldn't hold him down short of the first down, and little Warwick Dunn, in his 9th year out of FSU, picks up the first down. So the Falcons mixing the pass, the run, and the scrambling of Vick on a drive that has carried downfield from the vicinity of their own 26 to the Saint 42-yard line, where it is 1st and 10, 11:59 to play, first quarter, scoreless game. Ace formation, play action, nice fake by Vick, wants it all down the middle of the field, and it is going to be broken up beautifully. Freddie Thomas back there, and he slapped the ball away some 5 yards deep in the end zone, as it was intended for Des White, the 6th-year man out of Georgia Tech. Good coverage there and a well-thrown ball by Vick.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I mean, I don't see Jason Kraft out there in the huddle right now. I mean, he may be somewhere, but, I mean, he is a guy that's kind of been victimized the last couple of weeks. People have gone after him, and maybe they have opted to go ahead and put Fred Thomas in that position for him.
Roddy White in motion on 2nd down and 10. Handoff done. Nowhere to run. Right side as the Saints hold their ground. Brian Young in particular, along with Charles Grant. Very little gain on the play. They'll mark the football around the 41-yard line for a gain of 1.
In fact, right now they're bringing Jason Kraft in on the nickel and dime packages and everything else, but I think that the Saints have been disappointed with his play as a starter on the outside, and Fred Thomas has kind of regained that. Tell you what, see Fakir Brown out there right now. It's good to see him back on the field.
3rd and 9 from the 41 of the Saints. Falcons bunch 3 receivers to the left, put Crumpler in motion. Vic's in the shotgun. Saints coming with the blitz, and it's thrown out to the left side, and a catch is made around the 31-yard line by Michael Jenkins. We'll see where they spot the football. He has the first down at the 30-yard line. 2 yards more than he needed for that first.
And let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson.
Yeah, kind of a surprise there, Hope. I was as surprised as you to see Fakir go out there, and guess where Michael Vick went right after him. Fakir Brown on the coverage, and he laid off of him a little bit too far. But Fakir Brown, good to see him at least out there giving it a go.
So the Falcons convert, 1st and 10 at the Saint 30. 10:33 to play, opening quarter, scoreless game. Vick hands off to Dunn, squirts underneath a tackle by Young at the line of scrimmage, and he's inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line, and that'll be close to another first down. May have it.
I like Warwick Dunn a lot. I mean, he's a Baton Rouge native, and he's been just a heck of a guy in the community and everything else. But here's a guy in his 9th year in the league, and you watch him run the football. He hasn't lost anything in 9 years.
And he gets so low, he just ducked under the attempted tackle by Brian Young, who had him in the hole. 1st and 10 for the Falcons at the Saint 19. Scoreless game, first quarter, Falcons threaten. Here's Vick, play action, all the time in the world, gonna throw, and it is incomplete. Intended for Jenkins around the 5-yard line. Freddie Thomas was coming up on him, and the ball was thrown wide and off the field to play. Incomplete.
I tell you what, it is nice to see Fred Thomas back out there on the field, because he admitted by himself that, I'd lost some confidence here in the last couple of years. I hadn't been playing that well, but because the Saints have been being burned so much on the passing game that he's had to play a lot in the nickel and dime packages, and maybe he's gotten back to his old self, and now he's back in his starting role.
2nd and 10 at the Saint 19. 2 wide receivers to the right. Des White split out wide to the left. Vick appears to be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. 3-step drop. Throws on the quick slant, and it's dropped at the 10-yard line by Des White. He was inside Freddie Thomas, who looked like he had stumbled. Would have been a reception and probably a 1st and goal for the Falcons, but a drop there, for the moment at least, impairs this Falcon drive. And Thomas really had stumbled. He had no opportunity whatsoever to make a tackle on that play. So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 19-yard line. They split Crumpler and Jenkins out wide to the right. Des White wide to the left. Crumpler comes in motion right to left. Saints crowding the line of scrimmage. Here's Vick throwing, and it is incomplete at the 7-yard line. Throwing it out to his left. Intended for Des White.
Now, I tell you what, if you watch the Saints pass rush right there, it's not the fact that they got to Michael Vick. They made him hurry a little bit, but what they did is they just kind of put a net around him. Everybody contained their gaps, came up the middle, did their responsibilities, and didn't give Michael Vick an opportunity to break out of the pocket, and he had to rush the throw a little bit.
So it'll be a 37-yard field goal attempt by Todd Peterson. Hasn't missed this season. A perfect 6 of 6 from the left hash mark. It's on its way, and it is good. Todd Peterson now 7 of 7 on the season as the Falcons cash in on their opening march to take a 3-0 lead. 9:39 to play. First quarter. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residence restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
Attention members of Tenet Choices 65, Choices Plus, and Healthcare Select. Wherever you are, your healthcare is covered by Tenet Choices. If you need medical attention, go to any available healthcare provider. No referrals or authorizations are needed for medical services, and prescriptions may be written by any physician you choose. Also, you will not be financially responsible for any co-pays or co-insurance during October. For more information, please call 1-800-631-8443 or visit tenetchoices.com. O'Reilly knows that the hardest thing about a hurricane is the disaster left behind. So they're committed to helping New Orleans get through this by keeping the items you need the most in stock. If you're looking for flashlights, batteries, power inverters, siphon pumps, gas cans, plugs, small engine accessories, tarps, or oil, O'Reilly has you covered. Whether you need a part for your car or items to get through a hurricane, remember O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts at better prices. And there when you need them most. Stay connected to the information you need to rebuild your life. The Big 870 WWL.
Good hands are here to help, so please call 1-800-54-STORM to report your loss. Allstate Insurance is here to help.
3 and out for the Saints offense. They punt the football away. Falcons bring it back 55 yards in 12 plays in 4 minutes and 32 seconds. Settle for the 37-yard Todd Peterson field goal and a 3-0 lead.
Man, you know, it's so easy to sit around here and beat up on the Saints, but I mean, you think about over the last 3 seasons, have you ever seen a team that goes 3 and out as much on their first series as the Saints?
No, I do not. Here's Keenan's kickoff this time. He drills it to the 2-yard line and out of bounds.
Boy, that was a horrible kick. Saints gonna get the ball at the 35-yard line.
Kickoff out of bounds. On the kicking team. By rule, the receiving team would take the ball. 40-yard line. First down.
Timeout. 40 at the 40-yard line is where they get it. Timeout on the field. 9:39 to play. Opening quarter. Falcons 3 and the Saints nothing. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Boy, our team looks hungry. I'd say they're hungry enough to go all the way. Wow, it's early to be talking championship. Championship? I'm talking all the way to Subway restaurants with all those fresh ingredients in their subs, wraps, and salads. Aren't we supposed to be talking about the team? Sure, their party platters are perfect for any team. Oh, that guy's toast. Like Subway restaurants' fresh toasted subs. Subway, eat fresh. Subway is a registered trademark of Doctors Associates Inc. To our valued customers and friends, please know that your safety is of great concern. At U.S. agencies, we care, and our disaster claims team is standing by to assist you with your claim. If you've been displaced by this disaster, walk into one of our many neighborhood offices throughout Louisiana. Contact us on the web at usagencies.com or call us at 1-800-958-8545. That's 1-800-958-8545. U.S. agencies.
If your car was totaled, or if you're in need of a new car, truck, or SUV, the Hood Automotive Group has over 800 brand new vehicles to choose from. Hi, it's Corey Johnson, the Hood Automotive Group, and its 13 dealerships remained high and dry during Katrina. And with the Hood Automotive Group's employee pricing and $750 Hurricane Katrina payments, the Hood Automotive Group truly is everything automotive under one hood.
The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected and informed with the Big 870 WWL.
To all of Beta Springs Water Company employees, we are concerned about those of you that we have not heard from. If you have not contacted us, call us at 504-828-2500 or email us at abitaman@abitasprings.com. Abita Springs Water has resumed operation and welcomes you back to work.
Michael Kanan, the rookie free agent, quite a story, although he just kicked that one out of bounds. Last week they used him to kick a long field goal, and he hit a 58-yarder, the longest that any kicker has ever kicked in his first attempt in the NFL. First and 10 from the 40-yard line of the Saints, who trailed 3-0 early. Antoine Smith running straight up the middle to the 50-yard line. That's going to be a burst of about 10 yards. Antoine Smith with an impressive carry, his first of the day. His longest of the season is 17. Of course, the Saints open with Aaron Stecker in there, and he's primarily a factor in the passing game. He checks in there now as Smith comes to the sideline. First down for the Saints at midfield. 9:08 to play first quarter. They trailed 3-0. Here's a handoff. Stecker, right side, puts his head down and squirts through for a couple, perhaps, inside the 48-yard line of the Falcons.
Okay, here's my little complaint already early in this ball game. You built yourself up all season long to be a pounded-out ground team. You're going to get there and play smash mouth football and all that kind of stuff. Well, you know you can do that with Deuce McAllister. You can't do that with Aaron Stecker. You can do it, periodically with him. Here, Antoine Smith comes in there, a 10-yard gain on his first carry of the ball game. First play has been in there, and then they go back to Aaron Stecker.
Second and 8, And this is going to be blown dead before the inception of the play. False start, Saints.
False start, 87, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That is Joe Horn.
False start.
The Saints have recorded 11-plus penalties in each of their 3 losses. This is their first of the day here.
Yeah, but they've went 3 and out on their first possession, and they've only run 3 plays in this possession.
So what you're saying is just give them time? Second and 13 from the 47 now of the Saints. Brooks, play action, has a lot of time, throws downfield, and it's incomplete. The ball was a little late, intended for Stallworth, and it was almost picked off by Jason Webster, the former 49er who opens on the right corner.
It almost looked right there that Dante Stallworth didn't even know the ball was coming his way. It kind of caught him by surprise right there at the very end. I just don't, he didn't appear to be focused in on the ball.
I think it came over the wrong shoulder to him as well. Third now and 13 from their own 47 with Brooks in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Falcons rush 4. Brooks is going to throw to the far sideline into double coverage, and that's a really nice catch by Dante Stallworth, but short of the first down. Coming back for the football, he'll be some 3 yards short of that first down, and on will come Mitch Berger again. It's a 10-yard pickup, but the Saints needed 13.
Well, I could sit here and beat my head against the wall. Aaron's already had a pass batted down, and then he threw the ball to Dante's off shoulder, and right there, it was more so the catch that Dante made that kind of a good play as opposed to the throw, because Dante really had to lay out to catch that ball.
And had no opportunity to get any farther than he did, 10 yards, 3 yards short of the first down. So Berger to punt away the football for the second time, hanging it high. Rossum calls for the fair catch, backpedals and makes it at his 10-yard line. A 38-yard punt with nothing on the return. A timeout on the field with 7:20 to play, opening quarter. Falcons leading the Saints 3-0. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Since Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, state and federal government agencies have taken actions to verify the safety of consuming local seafood. These efforts include destroying contaminated or spoiled food inventories, testing water quality, and sampling fish, shrimp, and shellfish for pollutants. The results of these ongoing tests verify that local seafood in the marketplace is safe to consume when properly handled and cooked. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Louisiana Seafood Promotion and Marketing Board. At Hibernia, there's nothing more important than the people they serve, their employees and communities. That's why Hibernia is dedicated to giving those affected by Hurricane Katrina the financial support necessary for getting on with their lives. For assistance, call toll-free 1-800-262-5689 or visit hibernia.com. Hibernia employees are also reminded to contact their managers or call the Employee Emergency Hotline at 1-800-707-0489. Hibernia, where service matters. Member FDIC.
I'd like to give a speech to Ken here. Ken, you always know how to help.
Greg?
Just a minute, Carol. To Ken, the guy who lets me change my Altel plan whenever I darn well feel like it without changing my contract.
Honey, Ken has other customers.
Sorry, I just get so emotional every time I come in here.
Greg, put Ken down. When Altel lets you change your plan whenever you feel like it without changing your contract, what's not to love? See store or Altel.com for details.
As Greater New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected with the Big 870 WWL.
The Saints have never beaten the Falcons when Michael Vick is healthy. He is 3-0 against the Saints, rushing during that time for an 8-yard average and 4 touchdowns. Through the air here early, he is 2 out of 6 for 32 yards, and he's been victimized by a drop. But on the opening series, he showed no ill effects of that sprained right knee that kept him out of last week's loss to the Patriots. Falcons will start from deep in their own territory, their 10-yard line, on first down, leading by a score of 3-0, 7:20 to play first quarter. 2 wideouts to the left, Baxton and the tailback Dunn gets the call, and he is tripped up. Jonathan Sullivan down around his ankles, Courtney Watson in there as well, a short gain on the play to around the 12-yard line.
You know, I love that quote that Hazard had when you were talking to him before the game. You know, when most people say a guy's 50-50, he said when you say that about Michael Vick, he's 90-10. Yeah, that was pretty good.
2nd and 8 from the 12-yard line. Ryan Finneran split out wide to the left. Vick rolls in that direction, stops, pumps, and throws it to Finneran. Incomplete. Through his hands, he was massaged on the sideline by Dwight Smith. So it causes your heart to leap into your throat when you see Michael Vick getting out of the pocket.
Well, to his left. Well, you know what? I mean, on both sidelines it does. I mean, you know, you got to be thinking about J.L. Morris sitting over there going, you know, I got the star player in the league right now. This guy's busting out of the pocket, running down the field, everything else, and you know what it does to Jim Haslett.
Michael Vick said he wouldn't play unless he could be Michael Vick, and he has been taken off with the football. It's 3rd and 8 now from the Falcon 12. Vick in the shotgun. Calls for the ball. Half roll out to the left. He's still rolling. Back to the 2. Slips 2 tackles, and he's free beyond the 10. 15 to the 16-yard line. 2 Saints had him, Charles Grant being one of them, and Vick is slow to get up. He is not getting up, and he's holding his right knee. We mentioned that Michael Vick was not going to ask for any quarter. He was not going to change the way he plays the game. And now he is flat on his face at the 16-yard line, holding that damaged right knee.
And I tell you what, I mean, Saints did a great job of putting pressure on him and got him back there around the goal line. Of course, like he always does, he manages to find a way out of it. And then as he started the ball up the field, I thought he was going to get the first down, but he got hit. His feet were off the ground, so it wasn't one of those things where his leg was planted in the turf and somebody, it was Fred Thomas that came up and made the hit. So it's kind of a goofy injury that he's got right there. And let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson. Kenny, what did you see?
Well, it looks like from the replays, they're looking and testing the knee, but it looks like also Fred Thomas's helmet landed deep into his thigh and into his hip. And as he laid there, they finally just rolled him over, and he had not even moved his legs. They're definitely working on the knee and testing the knee. J.L. Moore, head coach of the Falcons, has now come out to look and see how things are going. He looks like he's in a little bit of pain. Got a few players talking to him here and there, but and now JL's kind of looking around at some of the other players, but they got him up now, and we'll see how he responds.
Well, he's going to walk off the field gingerly, but under his own power, limping slightly on that right knee. And in fact, now he's going to jog off the field, much to the delight of this sellout crowd. We'll take a timeout. 6:31 to play opening quarter. Well, now we're going to rethink that, and we're going to keep it right here.
And let's go right back down to Kenny Wilkerson.
Yeah, JL is also giving JL, the coach of the Falcons, saying as much as he could to all the Saints players. I mean, that was a good, clean shot. They had him twice behind the line of scrimmage, almost had him down, but there was nothing wrong with that shot by Fred Thomas. That was just a good, clean, hard tackle that I think landed into his hip and into his thigh. They tested that knee. I would think the way he ran off the field, he'll be back, but JL giving the Saints players a hard time about the tackle.
Michael Kanan to punt it away, and he hangs it high. Retreating is Az Hakim, taking it in at his 34, slips a tackle and picks up about 4 yards up to around the 38-yard line before the Falcons cover him up. 1st and 10 Saints when we return. 6:03 to play opening quarter. Falcons on top of New Orleans 3-0. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Is now the time to treat yourself to a new Cal Spa from the Spa Shop? With 6-person spas starting at only $19.95. Huge discounts on floor models and special financing available. Now is the time to make the best part of your day a new Cal Spa from the Spa Shop in Mandeville. Call 800-289-SPAS. Call the Spa Shop in Mandeville. 800-289-SPAS. 800-289-SPAS. More, better, faster technology. As a national leader in patient satisfaction, Thibodeau Regional Medical Center has now taken the lead in bringing you the latest technology. Why? Because we want you to have access to faster, better, more accurate diagnosis and treatment. You see, when it comes to your health, we want the best for you and your family. More, better, faster. Now that's the kind of patient-centered excellence you'll get only at Thibodeau Regional. At Hibernia, there's nothing more important than the people they serve, their employees and communities. That's why Hibernia is dedicated to giving those affected by Hurricane Katrina the financial support necessary for getting on with their lives. For assistance, call toll-free 1-800-262-5689 or visit hibernia.com. Hibernia employees are also reminded to contact their managers or call the Employee Emergency Hotline at 1-800-707-0489. Hibernia, where service matters. Member FDIC. As Greater New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected to the latest with the Big 870 WWL.
It's a New Orleans Saints tradition to turn down the sound on your TV and turn up the Saints radio network next Sunday at noon when the Saints take on the St. Louis Rams. Turn up the Saints radio network.
Meanwhile, the Falcons will return home to take on the New York Jets. Falcons were 3.5-point favorites early in the week as Michael Vick regained health. It was up to a 5.5-point line for the Falcons. 1st and 10 Saints with the football at the New Orleans 38. Play action as Brooks rolls to his left, has all sorts of time, and going to take off with the football and slide down up around the 42-yard line. Couldn't find anybody open. Had Ernie Conwell up in front of him, but decided to just tuck it and run for a gain of 5. Of course, much is made of the fact that Aaron Brooks is the second cousin of Michael Vick, and Aaron has always had a hard time in games against the Falcons with that comparison because Vick has played well and he has not. Saints beat them last year, you'll recall, late in the season when the Falcons were already assured a playoff berth. On 2nd down, run it with Stecker, and Aaron Stecker runs hard for the 1st down up to around the 49-yard line. Lamont Hall did a very good job blocking out in front of him on the linebacker.
And the NFL scoreboard is brought to you by A1 Appliance and Electronics. Right now, Baltimore leads Cleveland 10-0. Carolina and Detroit scoreless. Jacksonville and Pittsburgh scoreless. Minnesota and Chicago also scoreless. Right now, Kansas City leads Washington 3-0. Tampa Bay over Miami 7-3. The Giants lead Dallas 3-0. And Cincinnati and Tennessee are also scoreless. Those are all first quarter scores.
1st and 10 Saints from the New Orleans 49. Here's Smith tripped up in the backfield and breaks free. Still on his feet inside the 40. 35, 30. Look at Antoine Smith go down to around the 26-yard line.
You know, he's been pretty humble here since he came to the Saints saying, hey, I'm kind of a one-cut guy. I can only do so much. He showed some pretty nifty footwork right there to cut that ball back against the grain, get it in the middle of the field. And I think the Saints are going to have a holding penalty downfield.
Yeah, it looks like it was one of the wide receivers who was caught holding because the flag is about 5 yards in on the field from in front of the Falcon bench, and that's going to negate a really nice run by Antoine Smith.
Well, and I think it's going to be against Dante Stallworth. But, I mean, you know, what do you do? I mean, the guy's out there blocking his rear end off, you know, and all the official sees.
87, offense on the run. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Joe Horn. It also actually went against Joe Horn. But, I mean, you know, that's what you want your wide receivers doing out there. You want those guys out there chicken fighting, doing something, just anything they can. And I certainly, when Antoine broke the ball off that way, I didn't see anything where Joe was grabbing a jersey or anything. It just, you know, it was in the opinion of the officials. But the good news is it's from the spot of the foul, and it doesn't bring him back to the line of scrimmage.
Which was from the 32. They'll mark it back to the 42-yard line. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
You're listening to the Big 870 WWL 870 AM New Orleans.
The 9-year veteran Antoine Smith comes to the sideline, and it'll bring up a 1st and 1 now for the Saints at the 42 of the Falcons. Ace formation, play action. Brooks with a lot of time again. Guns it over the middle, caught by Hilton. Inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. Zach Hilton with just his 3rd catch of the season, and that's good for 28 yards.
I'll tell you what, if you can see this on the replay, just look how comfortable he was going across the middle. That ball came to him, he extended his arms, put his hands out there, and just caught the ball naturally, and instead of trying to let it get to his chest and to his body.
1st and 10 Saints at the Falcon 24, 3:50 to play first quarter. Falcons leading 3-0. Wideouts left and right. backs offset. Antoine Smith, the tailback, right up the middle, wide open through the 5. He'll walk into the end zone. You could have driven a semi through that hole. You could have run through that hole.
Well,
Carrying me.
But you know, it was so funny. He broke out into the open right there, and you could see his face mask just looking at the safety. And I was saying, just go ahead and run over the safety. And the safety is sitting back there going, oh, God, I got this big old truck coming at me. What do I need to do? And actually, Antoine just gave a little move at the end. He got it in the end zone. Good for him.
His first touchdown as a Saint. He's going to keep the ball as a memento. Somehow he's found the fountain of youth here in the shadow of the Alamo. In fact, he's going to give it to a Saints fan on the sideline. That's a nice gesture.
Good for him. I tell you what, a class individual.
John Carney's extra point out of the hole to Bauman is perfect. And with 3:37 to play in the first quarter and awaiting the fate of Michael Vick, the Saints are on top of the Falcons 7-3. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Hey folks, Hokie Gajan here from Napa Auto Parts. Most of our Napa stores are open again for business, and Napa has immediate openings for cattlemen, drivers, and warehouse employees. Apply in person at any Napa store. In the New Orleans area, you can visit the Napa New Orleans Distribution Center on Shrewsbury near Jefferson, or call 504-834-2217 and speak to Peggy Rubio. Together, we can rebuild New Orleans and the Gulf Coast.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler Jeep and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
Allstate would like to express their concern for those affected by Hurricane Katrina. The Allstate Catastrophe Team is standing by, ready to help you with your claim. If you have any questions or need to file a claim, please call 1-800-54-STORM. Allstate also has their mobile response unit in the impacted areas with teams of claim specialists ready to assist you. Again, the number for Allstate customers to call is 1-800-54-STORM. When you're ready, Allstate is there to help. Message provided by Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois. The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected to home with the Big 870 WWL.
And welcome back to the Alamodome. Hokie Gajan, Jim Henderson, and Kenny Wilkerson down on the sidelines with an Abita Springs Water Saints sideline report.
Yeah, that Saints band, Cressida Smith, that's Antoine's wife, sitting with a whole bunch of players, Mel Mitchell's brother, Michael Lewis's wife, a whole slew of Saints fans and players and family all in the front row down here. That's Cressida Smith that he just gave the football to. And I don't think that we've seen a hole that big. I can't even remember. That was unbelievable to see something like that, guys.
All that was left back there was the free safety, Brian Scott, and he wanted no part of Antoine Smith running under a full head of speed.
No, all he got was an eye, ear, and elbow tackle.
So Berger to kick it away as this crowd comes to life. Alan Rossum awaits the kickoff. Here's Rossum coming up to field it at the 3, to the 5, to the 10, he's to the 15, and he's hit around the 20, breaks free, jitterbugging his way upfield. He's across the 25 to around the 26-yard line.
Well, you know, while we were sitting there watching that replay, Robert Carroll asked us, he goes, how does a hole get that wide open? It ain't very often, but take advantage of it when it does. I mean, when was the last time you saw a guy make a 24-yard run and was untouched by anybody until he got in the end zone?
That was amazing.
I'll take those any day.
You'd have to say the Saints are running the ball far more efficiently than you might have expected, given the injuries to their offensive line and the absence of Deuce McAllister.
Absolutely, but it's also something that they're sticking more with the running game right now.
Well, Michael Vick has made a very quick recovery. He's back in there from his 27-yard line. He looks to throw, and he goes down as he dumps off a screen. Here's Warwick Dunn running up the right sideline, being chased from behind and bounced out of bounds in Saints territory at the 43-yard line. Vick was buried as he got rid of that football back around his 16, and there is a flag down on the play up at the 42-yard line of the Falcons.
You know, he looked kind of gimpy as he was setting up that screen, but I think that might have been one of those good acting jobs by Michael Vick. and it allowed the Saints pressure to get to it and just dump the ball off out there to Warwick Dunn.
89. Offense. 10-yard penalty. After the catch. It'll be 10 yards from the start on foul.
Well, that might be a make-up call for the same call that went against Joe Horn in a similar situation.
And let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson real quick.
And since Michael Vick came back out onto the field, Hokie's been gimpy, moving slow. I think that they'll end up telling us that he's had some type of hip or thigh contusion. It doesn't look like he's having any kind of a problem with the knee or anything, but definitely moving very, very slow. He stayed down after the hit, after the play. It wasn't because he was just kind of watching the play, but he's definitely not the same player he was about 10 minutes ago.
So it'll be a 1st and 6 now after the penalty at the Falcon 32, handed off to T.J. Duckett in the massive back out of Michigan State to stop short of the 35-yard line.
I think one thing that I do like what I've seen so far with the Saints defensive line, they are getting some penetrations whenever the Falcons are running the ball. So I don't know if the Falcons, they're kind of touted as having a very good offensive line and all that, but the Saints defensive line is getting some penetration right now.
Courtney Watson heads for the sideline, replaced by Ron McKinnon at middle linebacker. 2nd and 3 at the Falcon 34-yard line. Michael Jenkins in motion, right to left, backs off set. Tailback is Duckett. Play action. Here's Vick, and he's going to deliver the football and throw it low and incomplete at the 48-yard line. Thrown at the feet of Des White. Mike McKenzie on the coverage.
Jim, something else I just noticed. Cedric Hodge is actually playing today. And at the end of the ball game last week, we were led to believe that he was going to have to be serving a suspension and everything else in the league, but he is actually playing today.
From what I understand, from what he said, he missed a drug test that he expects to have a hearing over. Not that he failed one, but he missed one. So that allows him to continue playing. 3rd and 3 with the ball at the Falcon 34. Here's Vick as the pocket breaks down. He takes off again, being chased by Smith. Smith can't get him. Vick goes to the sideline and has the first down beyond the 40, up at the 41-yard line, but there is a flag down upfield. This will probably go against the Saints at the Falcon 48. Probably detected holding or illegal contact downfield against one of the wide receivers.
Well, it depends on when it happened in the play, because once the quarterback breaks out of the pocket and is on the move, well, now you can pretty well do what you want.
Holding, 21, defense, 5-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Well, that's Jason Kraft, who heads to the sideline. And Michael Vick, when he gets in the open field, doesn't look like he's hurt by that knee at all or that leg injury.
I'll tell you one thing, adrenaline will take over when you break out of the pocket.
1st and 10 for the Falcons at the Atlanta 46. 2:10 to play first quarter. Saints leading 7-3. Squirting through a hole on the left side, short of midfield is Warwick Dunn. Courtney Watson covers him up just short of the 50-yard line, a 4-yard gain.
Man, Jonathan Sullivan was in the backfield so quick right there. And several times that the Saints defense has done that, but they have not been able to collar anybody while they've been in the backfield.
Dunn rushed 19 times for 83 yards against New England. Remember, he rushed for just 52 yards in his last game against the Saints last year, but the Falcons were already in the playoffs and took it a little easy on the Bulls.
Big trouble.
And it's going to be incomplete. As Michael Vick goes down, he was hit from behind by Courtney Watson back at the 38-yard line.
The reason I said big trouble, they split Warwick Dunn wide out to the Saints sideline, and nobody covered him. And that's where he was trying to go with the ball, Michael Vick. And thank goodness that Courtney Watson got so much pressure on him, because there was absolutely nobody on Warwick Dunn.
And they kind of sped things up and went with a fast count on that and took the Saints a little bit by surprise. 3rd and 7 from the Falcon 49. 2 wideouts to the right, Finner and wide left, where he's covered by Fakir Brown, one back in the backfield. Here's Vick stepping up, delivers the football, and it's caught at the 38-yard line by Jenkins. It'll be a first down as he's taken down by Jason Kraft. They always seem to find Jason Kraft when they need a big play. That's 14 yards and a first down.
Well, I don't know that they're necessarily picking on him, but he just always kind of seems to be the guy that's in the area where the ball is thrown.
Again, the Saints were bringing some pressure up the middle. from Courtney Watson, but Vick able to elude it. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of the Saints. 1:02 to play. First quarter, Saints up 7-3. Here's Warwick Dunn with those quick feet, avoiding a tackle by Sullivan in the backfield and picking up positive yardage down to around the 33-yard line. He does have those quick feet and wearing those red shoes. You had shoes like that when you played, didn't you? I guess that was blood on yours. Blood or mud. He scampers when he has that football down to the 33-yard line, where it is 2nd and 6. We're in the final 30 seconds of a eventful opening quarter. Ace backfield. Wideouts left and right. Handoff done. Lots of room as he cuts it back against the grain again. Bowls over the tackle of Freddie Thomas, taken down by Cedric Hodge. Looks to have the first down and does. Around the 26-yard line is where the football will be spotted as the final seconds of the first quarter elapse. After 15 minutes in the Alamodome, Saints on top of the Falcons 7-3. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Is now the time to treat yourself to a new Cal Spa from the Spa Shop? With 6-person spas starting at only $19.95, huge discounts on floor models, and special financing available, now is the time to make the best part of your day a new Cal Spa from the Spa Shop in Mandeville. Call 800-289-SPAS. Call the Spa Shop in Mandeville. 800-289-SPAS. 800-289-SPAS. Ken Butler, president of Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership.
I see where those rent-owned stores are claiming they'll match our price on similar merchandise. You gotta be kidding me. They can't match the price or the merchandise at Aaron's. Aaron's has a huge selection of brand new, brand name furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers. And Aaron's doesn't just claim the lowest prices, we guarantee it. Or you can claim $100. So do the math. Nobody beats Aaron's. You can take that to the bank.
Boy, our team looks hungry. I'd say they're hungry enough to go all the way. Wow, it's early to be talking championship. Championship? I'm talking all the way to Subway restaurants with all those fresh ingredients in their subs, wraps, and salads. Aren't we supposed to be talking about the team? Sure, their party platters are perfect for any team. Oh, that guy's toast. Like Subway restaurants' fresh toasted subs. Subway, eat fresh. Subway is a registered trademark of Doctors Associates Inc. Stay connected to the information you need to rebuild your life. The Big 870 WWL.
Michael Vick, 4 out of 11 for 60 yards through the air. Warwick Dunn, 8 carries for 34. Scoring in the first quarter. Todd Peterson capped the opening drive of the game for the Falcons with a 37-yard field goal. Saints responded later on with a 24-yard burst up the middle by Antoine Smith for a 7-3 lead. Michael Vick was shaken up with about 6:20 left in the first quarter and a hard hit to that damaged right leg, but it might have been above the knee, might have been to the thigh. As he was jumping in the air, he appeared to take a helmet in that thigh from Freddie Thomas, but he's back in there now and playing on 1st and 10 from the Saint 26. Falcons move it left to right on the first play of the second quarter. Vick drops straight back, steps up in the pocket, ball is tipped and intercepted at the 5, coming back to the 10, to the 15. This is Bullocks, 30. He's up to the 30, 45. Midfield. Falcons territory to the 45-yard line. Josh Bullocks with his first interception in the NFL.
Well, you know, that was one of the reasons why Jim Haslett said he wanted this guy, because he can make plays. I mean, when he was a junior, I believe it was, in Nebraska, I mean, he had like, he was a sophomore. I think he had double-digit interceptions. So the guy's got good hands. He can catch the ball right there. He was Johnny on the spot to catch the tip ball after Michael Vick threw it.
And he brought it back 50 yards to the Falcon 45. So for the Saints, just their 4th interception of this season. And this crowd is buzzing. Officials holding up play momentarily to reset the clock, it would appear.
Heck, man, I'm buzzing in this game. I mean, this is a different Saints football team than what we saw last weekend. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's a little bit different team than we saw against Buffalo here 2 weeks ago. There's a lot more energy on that sideline right now and on the playing field.
1st and 10 Saints from the Falcon 45. New Orleans leading 7-3 early second quarter. Antoine Smith upended this time as he runs it right. Lamont Hall pushing on the linebacker again and mixing it up. They'll spot the football around the 41-yard line, give him 3 on the carry.
Hey, let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson real quick.
Kenny, guys, and it was going to be a while to determine whether or not that energy they had when they came out onto the field was going to carry over. It looks like it has, and so much that, I mean, players are screaming and hollering as they come to the sidelines. The defensive players, Willie White had just banged his helmet down really hard, screaming up into the crowd. They're definitely feeding off of the noise and feeding off of the play on the field.
2nd and 6 from the 41. Brooks steps out from under center and changes the play. Splits his backfield. Back under center now. Here come the Falcons with the rush, and it's caught on the slant pattern at the 22-yard line by Oz Hakeem. First down for the Saints.
Well, you remember what a good first half Oz Hakeem had last week, and then all of a sudden, in the second half, he just kind of disappeared. Aaron went to him thinking that he might be the go-to guy for last weekend. Second half, he started dropping some balls. Right there, good throw by Aaron, put it right on the money, and led Oz Hakeem enough to where he can do something with it after the catch.
20-yard gain, right cornerback Jason Webster on the tackle. 1st and 10 Saints with the ball at the Falcon 22, 13:25 to play. Second quarter, Saints are up 7-3. In motion, it's Lamont Hall. Brooks, play action, takes off with the ball, has room if he wants to run, and does. Inside the 15, he's down to the 10, stiff arms a tackler, driven backward by Scott. Aaron Brooks showing a little manhood on that run, not sliding down, stiff arming would-be tacklers and mixing it up with the secondary of the Falcons, and there is a Saint shaken up back at the 25-yard line.
That's Montre Holland. So, I mean, the Saints' offensive line has already got enough injuries as it is, and now Montre Holland is down. But you're right. I mean, Aaron Brooks, I tell you what, that nifty little run that he took right there, I mean, he could have, just said, all right, look, I'm doing the second base slide after he got down past the first down markers. But he said, I'm going to keep running. So, good for him.
He did for 12 yards. And it was the free safety, Brian Scott, who was stiff-armed by Brooks, who has a very long stiff arm, one he doesn't utilize very often. Montre Holland limping off the field.
Well, and that's the good news. I mean, Jermaine Mayberry was active for this ball game, unlike last week, so he's able to come in there now and fill his usual role as a right guard.
The ball is spotted inside the 10-yard line at the 9. 1st and goal for the Saints. 12:53 to play, second quarter. Saints up 7-3. Double tight end formation to the right side. Backs offset. One wide receiver. That's Stallworth. Here's Brooks as the Falcons creep up to the line of scrimmage, handing off Antoine Smith with a Falcon on his back. He's down to around the 6-yard line. Mike Carney blocking out in front of him. Keon Carpenter, the strong safety, brings him down after about a 3-yard gain.
And this NFL scoreboard is brought to you by Lennox Air Conditioning and Heating. Right now, Baltimore leads Cleveland 13-0. Carolina and Detroit tied up at 7 apiece. Pittsburgh leads Jacksonville 14-7. Minnesota and Chicago still scoreless in the second quarter. Washington leads Kansas City 7-3. Tampa Bay 10, Miami 3. The Giants lead Dallas 3-0, and Tennessee over Cincinnati 7-0.
Second and goal from the 6. Oz Hakeem in motion. The running back is Stecker. Falcons come up the middle. Floated out to Stecker in the right flat. He can't get away from the Falcon tackler, and he'll be dropped for a loss back to the 11-yard line as he's taken down by D'Angelo Hall, the left cornerback and the former first-round pick of the Falcons back in 2004. Flag down on the play.
Big break there. Yes, indeed. And I tell you what, that was about the only thing that Aaron could do because he was getting so much pressure coming from the blitzer that all he could do was float the ball out to Aaron Stecker. Actually, not a bad job on his part because the only other option he had was to eat the ball, and then he takes a big loss.
Chad Lavallee beating the snap count across the line. Of course, whenever the Falcons play, we always look back at Lavallee, the year the Saints passed him up to take Rodney Leslie. And Leslie inactive again today, while Chad Lavallee is the starting defensive tackle for the Falcons. Can you look up how many times Rodney Leslie has been active? Not very often. Second and goal from the 3, backs off set. Here's Stecker up the middle, bangs off a tackler, picks up a yard, maybe 2, down to around the 1-yard line as a skirmish breaks out. Mike Carney was in the middle of it, along with that free safety, Brian Scott. So tempers running high here. Charles Bentley's been fired up as well. This has really been a chippy football game thus far.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a good football game.
Excellent.
I mean, it's been clean. It's been aggressive. Those guys are going after one another, and it's been a good, entertaining football game up to this point.
Third and goal. He'll be down around the goal line, but short, and the Saints have a decision to make here. And they're going to bring on John Carney.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is much of a decision right now. I mean, you know, you've got something going. You feel good about yourself after the turnover. Saints make a good drive right there, being able to run the ball, pass the ball, get down. You get some points on the board and keep that momentum going. You try and go in there right now and punch it in, and you don't get it. I mean, it just kind of takes all the wind out of your sails.
John Carney, who missed his last 2 last week, both from 43 yards, will have a field goal here shorter than an extra point. It will be a 19-yard field goal attempt from just inside the left hash mark. Bauman to hole. Snap, placement, and Carney puts it through. So after the interception return of 50 yards by Josh Bullocks, the Saints settle for a 19-yard field goal attempt that's good by Carney and run their lead to 10-3 with 9:55 to play here before halftime. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Here's Mark Paracelli, District Manager, Linux Industries.
Now that we know how it feels to not have air conditioning, be sure to replace your unit with the Lennox 2-stage XC21 air conditioning system, up to 21 SEER. Certifiably the most efficient system you can buy.
I'm Bobby Hebert. On or off the field, there's no better team play than Helm Paint and Decorating and Benjamin Moore. For 35 years, providing New Orleans with high-quality paint and professional service. In Metairie, Kenner, Mandeville, New Orleans, and now on the West Bank and Magazine Street, Helm Paint and Decorating and Benjamin Moore.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks at Daimler Chrysler.
Attention members of Tenet Choices 65, Choices Plus, and Healthcare Select. Wherever you are, your healthcare is covered by Tenet Choices. If you need medical attention, go to any available healthcare provider. No referrals or authorizations are needed for medical services, and prescriptions may be written by any physician you choose. Also, you will not be financially responsible for any co-pays or co-insurance during October. For more information, please call 1-800-631-8443 or visit tenetchoices.com. The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected and informed with the Big 870 WWL.
To Abita Springs Water Company employees, we are concerned about those of you that we have not heard from. If you have not contacted us, call us at 504-828-2500 or email us at abitaman@abitasprings.com. Abita Springs Water has resumed operation and welcomes you back to work.
After the 50-yard interception return by Bullocks, the Saints go 44 yards in 7 plays and 4:52, settle for the 19-yard John Carney field goal and a 10-3 lead over the Falcons. Allen Rossum awaiting the kickoff by Berger. Comes up to field it at his 8, to the 10, to the 15, cuts it to his left, through a hole. He's up to the 30, 32, 36-yard line before he is taken down by Nate Poole. Made a pretty nice open field tackle as it looked like Rossum might go a ways. A 25-yard return. Actually, Nate Poole had gotten up the field and then kind of had to reverse himself back, and he got Rossum from behind. Timeout on the field, 9:49 to play here in the second quarter. Saints leading the Falcons 10-3. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
tell you on or off the field, there's no better team play than Helm Paint and Decorating in Benjamin Moore. For 35 years, the Helm family has served Metro New Orleans, providing high-quality Benjamin Moore paints. Now with wallpaper, window treatments, and decorative accessories, the professional staff at Helm Paint can serve all of your decorating needs. In Metairie, Kenner, Mandeville, New Orleans, and now on the West Bank and Magazine Street, Helm Paint and Decorating in Benjamin Moore.
Helm Paint and Supply.
If your car was totaled, or if you're in need of a new car, truck, or SUV, the Hood Automotive Group has over 800 brand new vehicles to choose from. Hi, it's Corey Johnson, the Hood Automotive Group, and its 13 dealerships remained high and dry during Katrina. And with the Hood Automotive Group's employee pricing and $750 Hurricane Katrina payments, the Hood Automotive Group truly is everything automotive under one hood.
Ken Butler, president of Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership.
I see where those rent-owned stores are claiming they'll match our price on similar merchandise. You gotta be kidding me. They can't match the price or the merchandise at Aaron's. Aaron's has a huge selection of brand new, brand-name furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers. And Aaron's doesn't just claim the lowest prices, we guarantee it. Or you can claim $100. So do the math. Nobody beats Aaron's. You can take that to the bank.
As Greater New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected with the Big 870 WWL.
O'Reilly Auto Parts will be donating $3 per rushing yard that the Saints gain to the Deuce McAllister Catch-22 Foundation. So y'all don't get confused with that. Even though Deuce is not playing for the rest of the season, O'Reilly Auto Parts will still be donating $3 per rushing yard that the Saints gain.
Jim Mora, watching his team that went to the NFC Championship game a year ago, looked to become the first team in Falcon history to have back-to-back winning seasons. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line of Atlanta, and Michael Vick has to call timeout as Jenkins came in motion belatedly, and the play clock was winding down, and we're seeing some evidence of a sold-out crowd. Although many are here to see Michael Vick, most are here to cheer the Saints, and you can hear the reaction. A timeout on the field, 9:49 to play. Second quarter, 10-3 Saints. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Cintas Corporation would like to thank everyone involved in the relief efforts for their courage and compassion. Cintas would like its customers to know that the Harahan operation is now open for business. As a member of the business community, Cintas is committed to being a part of the rebuilding of New Orleans. Together, we can all make a difference. This message brought to you by Cintas, proudly serving customers today in Jefferson Parish, Greater New Orleans, and the entire Gulf South. Cintas, the uniform people.
I'd like to give a speech to Ken here. Ken, you always know how to help.
Greg?
Just a minute, Carol. To Ken, the guy who lets me change my Altel plan whenever I darn well feel like it without changing my contract.
Honey, Ken has other customers.
Sorry, I just get so emotional every time I come in here.
Greg, put Ken down. When Altel lets you change your plan whenever you feel like it without changing your contract, what's not to love? See store or Altel.com for details.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
As Greater New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected to the latest with the Big 870 WWL.
There'll be 4 great games in Baton Rouge starting on October the 30th. Order tickets for one game for as low as $15 a ticket, or you can order a special 4-game pack. You can call Ticketmaster at 1-800-877-0898 or order online at NewOrleansSaints.com, or you can stop by the Pete Maravich Assembly Center in Baton Rouge.
That first game October 30th against the Miami Dolphins, and Ricky Williams, who returns to action today. On first down, Vick with 2 wide receivers to the right, play action. Has time, can't find anybody, dumps it off on one hop to TJ Duckett. He might have just thrown that ball away. would have only been about a 2-yard gain with a reception.
And let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson. Kenny, what you got?
I'll tell you what, guys, last week in Lambeau, they did a heck of a wave, and that crowd really got into the game. This building just giving them a little run for their money right now. The crowd is really into it, and the players are really into it as well, anxious to get out there. And I'm telling you, Michael Vick is not the same player. He's still capable of burning them, but he is not the same player as he was earlier.
He's 4 out of 13 for 60 yards and the interception. A handoff here, not much, to around the 39-yard line. Giving it off to T.J. Duckett behind his right guard. And let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
You're listening to the Big 870 WWL 870 AM New Orleans.
And it'll bring up 3rd and 6 at the Falcon 39. Vick in the shotgun with 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Saints rush 4. And Vick is going to go down as he dumps it off. It's going to be complete. I don't know how he got it away, but it'll be a very minimal gain or perhaps a loss of a yard or 2 as he dumped it off to Warwick Dunn. Charles Grant was burying the left-handed quarterback as he got that ball away on the way down.
You know, I mean, you got to really feel good for Fred Thomas. I mean, here's a guy that's been a good player for him ever since he's got healthy for the Saints since the year 2000. And today, I mean, he's getting the opportunity to start again. And I'm with you. I don't know how Michael Vick got rid of that ball, but Fred Thomas was right there to make the stop on Warwick Dunn.
Charles Grant put a great inside move on Todd Weiner and came in scot-free to bury Vick as he got rid of the football. Here's Michael Kanan's punt. It'll be fielded at the 27-yard line, and not getting much out of that will be Az Hakim. He brought down right around the 29-yard line. After a 48-yard punt, a timeout on the field, 8:16 to play. Here in the second quarter, Saints on top of the Falcons 10-3. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Hi, this is Kenny Wilkerson for Briggs Equipment. Briggs Equipment is the largest distributor of all forklifts and the leader for parts and service on all models of forklifts. They will have the parts and expertise to fix any forklift, and Briggs Equipment's rapid quality service is not an accident, it's a promise. Briggs Equipment.
A1 Appliance and Electronics 5 stores are now open. Slidell, Mandeville, Lapalco, Veterans, and Elmwood. With special hurricane and flood financing, 0% and no payments for 6 months with approved credit. Welcome home, New Orleans. At A1 Appliance and Electronics, we're ready for you.
Throughout the Hurricane Katrina disaster, your community hospital, Slidell Memorial, has remained fully operational and available to those in need. We are currently accepting patients, and most of the physician offices on and around the SMH campus are open. We ask our employees who have not been able to return to please contact their manager for revised work schedules. To those in our area who have suffered great losses, we extend a healing hand. For further information, please call 985-643-2200 or go to www.slidellmemorial.org.
Hey, this is Bobby Hebert, part of the Domino's and RPM Pizza team. Any of you fellow team members have not reported in, so please call 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217. At Domino's, we're concerned about you and your family's safety. Call today at 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217. As you return, be assured you do have a job. At Domino's and RPM, we're local and ready to rebuild. Stores are coming online daily, and we're getting stronger every day. 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217.
The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected to home with the Big 870 WWL.
There have been no challenges this half brought to you by Hibernia National Bank, the official bank of the New Orleans Saints. But right now, you can open a Hibernia personal or business checking account and get an emergency roadside kit free. Make Hibernia your official bank and trust all your financial needs with the one you know. Hibernia, where service matters.
Antoine Smith, 6 carries for 60 yards as the Saints throw on first down, and it's complete in the right flat to Az Hakim. He's up across the 40-yard line for a first down. And Jermaine Mayberry remains in there. At least the last time I looked, he did. At right guard. Remember that Montre Holland was shaken up. Now Holland's back in there. As I recheck, Holland back in there at right guard. 1st and 10 for the Saints up at the New Orleans 41. 7:42 to play before halftime. Saints up 10-3. Here's Antoine Smith, and this time he is met at the line of scrimmage and will have no gain. The Falcons all over that running play. He had no chance as the free safety Brian Scott came knifing through the line of scrimmage to make the initial contact. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 with the ball resting at the Saint 42-yard line.
You could say he came through scot-free, couldn't you?
Yes, you could.
I said it before you did.
Brian scot-free. Remember Scott Case when he used to play for the Falcons in that second.
Oh, I remember him too.
Here's Brooks to throw off his back foot. Lofts it downfield, intended for Henderson and incomplete. A dangerous throw there as Jason Webster was running step for step with Devery Henderson, and Brooks just threw that one up for grabs off his back foot as the Falcons were coming with a blitz from their linebacker, Michael Boldy.
Yeah, and Aaron got a lot of pressure. I tell you what, not really a bad decision, because that time when he threw it out there, he threw it to Devery Henderson because it was the one-on-one coverage. He didn't have a safety over the top, so Aaron just said, I'm going to fling it as far as I can, and he out-threw everybody.
Actually, it was Keith Brooking who was coming on the pass rush. 3rd and 9 for the Saints from the New Orleans 42. Brooks in the shotgun. Here come the Falcons on a blitz. Brooks takes off with the ball, and he's going to slide down with a first down at the 48-yard line.
I'm going to tell you what, I mean, he reminds me so much today of that Charlotte game, the opening week. He is very decisive on what he's doing. He was a little bit off target with some of his throws in the first quarter, but he was decisive with everything that he's doing. And even when he tucks the ball to run it right now, he knows exactly what he wants to do. And he saw the Red Sea part in front of him, and he said, the heck with this, I'm just going to go ahead and run for the first down.
That's a 10-yard gain, 28 yards for Brooks now on 3 carries. He's actually out-rushing his second cousin, Michael Vick, at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd like for Aaron to get that monkey off of his back where he finally would beat his cousin in one of these games.
1st and 10 from the Falcon 48. Play action, Brooks, a lot of time. Throws, and it's going to be incomplete and nearly intercepted. Intended for Oz Hakeem. Brian Scott went up and had both hands on the football at the 35-yard line, but couldn't corral it. So Brooks has been well protected. Hakeem was actually wide open as he and D'Angelo Hall were fighting downfield. Hall fell down, so if this play is complete, it's probably a touchdown. But Brian Scott goes up to knock the ball away, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10 at the Falcon 48. 3 wide receivers near side of the field. Here come the Falcons again, and this is going to be with a flag down. Stecker buried by Keith Brooking, who came in untouched. Now there is a flag down on the near side of the field, but if the play stands, this is a loss all the way back to around the 42-yard line of the Saints, but apparently that will not be the case as they're walking back to the line of scrimmage.
That's the first time I've ever seen an official throw a flag that landed in the Saints bench. I mean, as he pulled it out of his pocket, he flipped it up, it went behind him, and the flag actually did not come down on the field. It came on the Saints sideline.
I think they said that was on Jonathan Babineau, the 2nd-round draft choice, the rookie out of Iowa, as he heads to the sideline and gets an earful from the Falcon coaching staff. So it'll bring up 2nd and 5 with the football at the Atlanta 43. Backs offset, wideouts left and right. Haven't seen much of Joe Horn since the opening moments, and here's Stecker bursting free up the middle. That'll be close to a first down as he's hauled down by Chad Lavallee.
Boy, you gotta like that quickness that he has bursting through that hole. I mean, he's at top-end speed after just a couple of steps, but that's a great thing about those kind of backs is that, you know, you get it up in there, he saw the daylight, and he took it, and he ran with it, and picked up the 5 yards and picked up the first down.
You remember when he spelled Deuce McAllister against the Rams with that 106-yard performance, including that 42-yard touchdown run that was reminiscent of the 24-yarder that Antoine Smith had in the first quarter when he just blew through the line scot-free into the end zone. 1st and 10 at the Falcon 37. Here's Antoine Smith running hard again down to around the 32-yard line. A pickup of 5. Well, you know, it's too early to draw a conclusion, but the Saints are running the football better with Smith and with Stecker than they did with Deuce McAllister all season.
Oh, absolutely, because I tell you what, well, one of the things that was happening is that everybody's defense, they were keyed in on Deuce McAllister, and I mean, they were doing a lot of run blitzes, filling gaps and everything else. I don't know if they really know what to expect right now out of Smith and Stecker, so they're kind of leaning back a little bit, waiting to see what their pattern's going to be.
2nd and 5 for the Saints at the Falcon 32. Here's Smith, drops the football, and it's picked up by D'Angelo Hall. Only Brooks can stop him. 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. He's going to score. A 75-yard return of the fumble by Smith by D'Angelo Hall. This Falcon defense was doing almost nothing against the Saints before that turnover is turned into 7 points.
And Antoine Smith just bounced the ball to the outside that time, and I mean, it looked like he had an opportunity to get something on the edge. Somebody just poked a hand in there and knocked it out. He's been having a fine ball game up to this point. I tell you what, the guy comes walking over the sidelines. He's got his head down. 3 or 4 Saints went out there and said, hey, man, that's all right. We'll pick it up for you. So, I mean, they're not down on him. He's upset with the fact that he fumbled the football, but his teammates at least let him know this is not the end of the world.
Todd Peterson adds the extra point, and this crowd for the moment is stunned on the fumble return by D'Angelo Hall as the Falcons and Saints now tied at 10.
Well, I mean, you know, the good thing is the Saints offense is going to get an opportunity to get the ball right back. They got to be feeling good about what they're doing. They've been able to move the ball on the ground, been able to run it, pound it at the Falcons and everything else. So I don't see any reason in the world why Mike Shepard would need to change anything right now. It's a tied-up ball game. You're right back to where you were at the beginning. You're all knotted up. So let's just come out there and keep doing what we're doing. There's no reason to push the panic button. Mistakes are going to happen. Guys are going to fumble the ball. You're going to throw interceptions and all that kind of stuff. But right now, I am thrilled to death with the way that this Saints offense is playing. So I don't see any reason in the world to change anything.
I would agree. And once he got that ball streaking down the left sideline and only Aaron Brooks back there, you had a feeling that it was going to come all the way back to the house, and it did, in the hands of D'Angelo Hall, the first-round draft choice in 2004 out of Virginia Tech, the number 8 pick overall that year in the draft. The Saints still have 4:04 with which to work before halftime in a game that is now tied at 10. Here's Kanan's kickoff. Hakeem will field it a yard deep in his end zone. To the 5, he's to the 10, and he's going to be chopped down at the 12-yard line. An excellent open field tackle downfield by the Falcons' John Leake, a reserve linebacker.
Yeah, I think John Leake got that knee right to the helmet. I mean, he made a heck of a play there on Hakeem, but one of the things that'll knock you for a loop is a knee to the helmet, and that's exactly what he got. And he's standing, you can see he's kind of punch drunk right now, walking off the field. Some of his teammates are help holding him up.
Kind of got ear hold, and the Saints will start from deep in their own territory. The line of scrimmage will be the New Orleans 13. Saints trailed early 3-0, went out on top 10-3, and most recently the D'Angelo Hall fumble return for the touchdown is tied it at 10 in a very eventful and entertaining first half of football.
I mean, I can watch football like this year-round. I mean, as long as it's competitive. And I tell you what, the Saints and the Falcons are being competitive today.
1st and 10 for Aaron Brooks and the Saints offense with the backs offset and 2 wideouts to the right. He's going to go with play action and throw and complete it to Hakeem, coming back for the football and then running forward beyond the 30 to the 31-yard line. We haven't seen much of Joe Horn because he was supposed to be limited with that hamstring injury, but we've seen a lot of Hakeem here earlier. This is a 21-yard gain and a first down up at the 31-yard line of the Saints. 3:36 to play in a 10-10 first half. Hakeem is split out wide to the left. Dante Stallworth, who's been quiet, wide right. Backs in an eye, the tailback is Aaron Stecker. Brooks hands off to Stecker, hit at the line of scrimmage, will get nothing. Hit immediately by the big defensive tackle. I believe that was Rod Coleman in there initially, or maybe Babineau. Anyway, it bounced him to the outside and resulted in a 4-yard loss.
This NFL scoreboard is brought to you by A1 Appliance and Electronics. Right now, Baltimore leads Cleveland 13-0. Carolina and Detroit tied up at 14 apiece. Pittsburgh 14, Jacksonville 7. Minnesota leads Chicago 3-0. Washington over Kansas City 7-6. Tampa Bay leads Miami 10-3. Dallas and the Giants. Dallas 7, the Giants 6, and Tennessee leads Cincinnati 10-7.
On second down, here's Brooks firing upfield. Another catch by Hakeem up at the 45-yard line of New Orleans. That'll be a first down. Now, these Falcons had a lot of problems last week against the Patriots in the passing attack of Tom Brady and company. They gave up 350 yards through the air, 483 total.
I think you gotta give Aaron a lot of credit here that, since Joe Horn has been out, and really you could almost say that Joe is out today because he's had very limited playing time, but he's found a go-to guy with Dante Stallworth a couple of weeks ago, and now Hakeem in the first half last week and in the first half this week.
We have reached the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in this second quarter as the Saints and the Falcons are tied at 10. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Abita Springs Water Company owes its success to the people of the Gulf Coast. This is why Abita Springs Water will do its part to help rebuild the economy by continuing to operate in all areas affected by Hurricane Katrina. Sufficient supplies of bottled water are important during these times because other sources may have been compromised by storm damage. Remember, the Abita Man can. Contact him at any of our branches throughout the South by visiting abitasprings.com for local phone numbers.
Allstate would like to express their concern for those affected by Hurricane Katrina. The Allstate Catastrophe Team is standing by, ready to help you with your claim. If you have any questions or need to file a claim, please call 1-800-54-STORM. Allstate also has their mobile response unit in the impacted areas with teams of claim specialists ready to assist you. Again, the number for Allstate customers to call is 1-800-54-STORM. When you're ready, Allstate is there to help. Message provided by Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler Jeep and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
Stay connected to the information you need to rebuild your life. The Big 870 WWL.
One corrected, D'Angelo Hall fumble return for the touchdown, 66 yards officially, as D'Angelo Hall pounced on the fumble by Antoine Smith out in the right flat and took it in pretty much untouched from there, tying the game at 10. But the Saints have moved the ball pretty regularly throughout this first half.
I tell you what, I'm feeling real good about what the offense is doing today. So just keep what they're doing. And you got 2 minutes. You still got timeouts left and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you what, it's just some of the times when Aaron is at his best when he's trying to move the ball down in the 2-minute warning and get yourself in the field goal range.
1st and 10 Saints from their 45. Falcons crowding the line of scrimmage and now backing off as Brooks throws, and it's caught on a juggling reception. Far sideline by Dante Stallworth in front of D'Angelo Hall. They'll mark the football at the 47-yard line of the Falcons, and it'll bring up second down and a long 2.
Now, I'll tell you what was such a good thing about that play. It was a nice gain on play of about 8 yards. Only took 4 seconds off the clock. You didn't have to burn a timeout because Dante Stallworth got out of bounds.
Second and a long 2 from the Falcon 47. We're in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Again, the Falcons creeping up to the line of scrimmage. They've got 9 players up at the line of scrimmage, and Brooks is going to go down.
He didn't have a chance.
Back at the 44-yard line, he is buried by defensive tackle Rod Coleman.
He never had a chance on that. You hate to see the big loss come up like that. It's going to be about a 9-yard loss. But, Aaron, God bless him. He makes the play fakes, and he doesn't have any idea that he's got a defensive tackle bearing down on his backside.
Rod Coleman just whipped Kendall Jaycox, and the Falcons taking more chances now defensively after the Saints have pushed them around through much of this first half. It'll bring up 3rd and 11. with the ball resting at the Saint 44. Two wideouts to the near side of the field. One of them, Joe Horn, in the slot left. Here come the Falcons again. Brooks is going to throw the ball downfield, and it's going to be incomplete as a flag is thrown on D'Angelo Hall on the far sideline. He never looked back for the ball as Devery Henderson was.
And I'll tell you what, that was a nice play right there by Aaron Brooks. He saw the all-out blitz coming. He said, man, I don't have a choice. I got to throw it up. And he did the right thing again. He threw it to the place where there was one-on-one coverage.
Pass interference, 21, defense. Contact, not playing the ball. Automatic first down, starting foul.
So with the penalty, the Saints now reach the 34-yard line of the Falcons with 1:10 to play before halftime. This game tied up at 10.
If I'm not mistaken, the Saints still have all their timeouts.
I believe they do. I'll have to check on that. It's hard to see with some of the scoreboards that we have here in the Alamodome. Not quite the size and the accuracy oftentimes of those in the Superdome. On first down with two wideouts to the left and one to the right, the handoff will go to Stecker. Stecker makes a move inside the 30 and another. Inside the 25, 20, 18-yard line. Aaron Stecker just undressed a couple of Falcon would-be tacklers with those quick feet. That'll be a gain of 20 yards down to the 17-yard line of the Falcons.
Well, I mean, I know he's not the guy that can carry your running game all season long, but he is kind of fun to watch, isn't he? I mean, with that side-to-side lateral movement, I like guys that can run like that.
First and 10 Saints at the 17-yard line of the Falcons. 35 seconds remaining in the first half. Falcons creep up to the line of scrimmage again. Here's Brooks to throw. Scrambles out to his right, being chased by Kearney. Throwing on the run, and it's incomplete and nearly intercepted by Scott. Intended for Oz Hakeem, and that's the second time in the last two series that Brian Scott has had two hands on the football.
I'll tell you, I really don't think that Aaron saw Oz Hakeem down there. I think he was just trying to throw it away, and he just left it a little bit too much in the field.
Yeah, he was trying to throw it away, and you're right. It sailed over Hakeem's head. He didn't even make an effort for the football because he knew that this was a throwaway, but Scott, playing behind him, nearly had the interception. A timeout on the field with 22 seconds remaining before halftime in what has been a very entertaining 10-10 game. We saw back in the open, after the way the Saints played last week, you guaranteed it wouldn't be as bad, and it would be hard to be as bad, but it certainly hasn't been. This
has been a good
emotional
football
from the very beginning.
Absolutely. I mean, and look, the Saints are going against a very good football team right now. But you know, the biggest difference is that the Saints are playing up to that level right now. I mean, there's a spark with this football team. You see the defense; those guys are flying to the ball. You see the offense; guys are doing. You know, they're coming out there, they're trying to play smash mouth football. There's a lot of little pushing and shoving matches going on, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that when you're going against your most bitter rival in the Atlanta Falcons and all that kind of stuff. So that's what's making this an entertaining football game as opposed to a sleeper like it was last week.
It was a snooze-a-thon last week. After that Carney field goal made it 3-0, and the Packers came back with 52 unanswered. Second and 10 from the 17-yard line of the Falcons. Two wideouts to the left, one to the right. Brooks drops, throws the fade route, and it is going to be caught by Hakeem at the goal line for the touchdown. A flag has been thrown, but it looked to be D'Angelo half pushing off Hakeem. Half thinks it's going to go against the Saints.
It's hard to say. I mean, Oz Hakeem is standing right there. I think it's going to be a push-off against Oz Hakeem.
Looks that way as he walks disconsolately back to the huddle, dropping the football at the 8-yard line as the fans boo.
Pass interference, 81, offense, push off. 10-yard penalty, replay the down.
I won't say that I disagree with that because I thought when I initially saw it that Oz Hakeem did push off right at the end.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, there was a little bit of pushing and shoving going on there. I mean, a lot of times you'd like to say to the officials, just let them play, but I think that once Oz did extend his arm, that made it a fairly easy call for the official.
I would agree. agree that that was a good call, and it cost the Saints a touchdown. Now the line of scrimmage is the Falcon 27 with 16 seconds remaining in the first half.
All right, big thing is just get this thing up there where it's much more of a chip shot for John Carney to come out there and get the field goal. You still got a timeout to burn, so with 16 seconds, you got time.
2nd and 20 from the 27. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Here's Brooks out of the shotgun. Brings in a low snap. He's going to be hit back at the 34-yard line by Patrick Kearney.
Timeout, New Orleans, at the team's second charge timeout.
So the Falcons have 1 timeout remaining, and they are creeping out of field goal range for John Carney.
Well, that was the one thing they didn't need right there was a sack. And, Aaron was looking downfield, but, you got to get something now. Try and do it in the middle of the field and go ahead and call a quick timeout and give John Carney the opportunity to come out there and kick the field goal, because I pretty well think he's out of range now.
Well, the line of scrimmage is the 33, would be a 50-yarder if they're not able to get any more out of this. And with 10 seconds left, they're not going to try to run another play. Carney's out on the field. And lining one up from just beyond 50 yards. Carney hit a chip shot earlier in the second quarter from 19 yards away, giving the Saints a 10-3 lead after the Josh Bullock's interception. His longest of the season is 48. This will be a 51-yard attempt by Carney from the left hash mark. Bauman to hold. And the officials stop play as the Falcons take a timeout. Joe DeCamillis is the special teams coach of the Falcons, and the Falcons with time to burn are... Can you ice John Carney?
No, I don't know. It's just one of them head games. You try and play with somebody. And it looks like the Saints are bringing their offense back out on the field now.
Interesting. They do have 10 seconds remaining and a timeout, so apparently they're going to try to get a little bit closer. And of course, the last thing you want here is a sack.
Well, in this situation, and what you do is you line up Aaron in the shotgun. You say, all right, this is what we're looking for. We got a timeout, and you just do something to get it a little bit closer. You might even could run a draw or something here. You could run a quarterback draw, anything like that. Just do something that you know that you got with 10 seconds remaining on the clock that you can call a timeout, and you don't have to worry about rushing your field goal unit out there, anything like that. Just hit the ground, call a timeout immediately.
Saints rethink a 51-yard field goal attempt by Carney, attempting to get it a little bit closer in the final 10 seconds of the first half. The back is Aaron Stecker. He gets the call. Dancing around, he'll pick up
that's it.
About 5 or 6 inside the 30 to around the 29-yard line, and the clock is stopped with 4 seconds remaining. Officially 4 yards on the Stecker carry, so instead of 51, this should be 47. We'll see where Todd Bauman kneels.
And one of the things that I was going to say before the ball was snapped is, you got to tell your running back or receiver, whatever you do on that play, don't try and be a hero. Catch the ball or run the ball and get down immediately so you do save that time on the clock.
So John Carney, who struggled last week against the Packers, hit that early field goal and then missed both left and right from 43 yards out. And again, he has the 19-yarder to his credit back in the second quarter. He is 11 out of 15 on the season.
You know what the bad news is? What? It's going to be a 43-yard attempt. Actually, it's 42.
Now it's going to be 47.
47, all right, excuse me.
47 yards from the left hash mark after the 4-yard gain by Stecker. Bauman puts down a high snap, and it's going to be blocked and picked up by the Falcons to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. It's going to be a touchdown by the Falcons on the final play of the half. DeMario Williams, as the Falcons have scored a touchdown on defense and now a touchdown on special teams, a 58-yard return of the block
field goal.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I mean, that was some sorry protection up the middle because they didn't stop anybody from the Falcons coming right up the gut. And I mean, even though the ball got a little bit closer, it wasn't one of those line drive shots that John Carney was going to have to hit. And the Saints just didn't slow up anybody on the middle of the Falcons' field goal rush.
Unbelievable turn of events here in the second quarter after the Saints had pretty much controlled things until a pair of very costly errors. The extra point is up, and it is through by Todd Peterson. And a stunned crowd here in the Alamodome settles back for halftime. The Falcons on top of the Saints, 17-10. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Faster technology. As a national leader in patient satisfaction, Thibodeau Regional Medical Center has now taken the lead in bringing you the latest technology. Why? Because we want you to have access to faster, better, more accurate diagnosis and treatment. You see, when it comes to your health, we want the best for you and your family. More, better, faster. Now that's the kind of patient-centered excellence you'll get only at Thibodeau Regional.
A1 Appliance and Electronics 5 stores are now open. Slidell, Mandeville, Lapalco, Veterans, and Elmwood. With special hurricane and flood financing, 0% and no payments for 6 months with approved credit. Welcome home, New Orleans. At A1 Appliance and Electronics, we're ready for you.
Hi, this is Kenny Wilkerson for Briggs Equipment. Briggs Equipment is the largest distributor of all forklifts and the leader for parts and service on all models of forklifts. They will have the parts and expertise to fix any forklift, and Briggs Equipment's rapid quality service is not an accident, it's a promise. Briggs Equipment.
At Hibernia, there's nothing more important than the people they serve, their employees and communities. That's why Hibernia is dedicated to giving those affected by Hurricane Katrina the financial support necessary for getting on with their lives. For assistance, call toll-free 1-800-262-5689 or visit hibernia.com. Hibernia employees are also reminded to contact their managers or call the Employee Emergency Hotline at 1-800-707-0489. Hibernia, where service matters. Member FDIC. The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected and informed with the Big 870 WWL.
Welcome back to San Antonio and the Alamodome. Kenny Wilkerson with you at the half as the Falcons lead the Saints 17-10. Brian Alley Walsh of the Times-Picayune will join us here shortly. Atlanta opened things up with a 37-yard field goal by Todd Peterson to make it 3-0. The Saints bounced back with a 24-yard touchdown run by Antoine Smith, made it 7-3. Then an interception later on by Josh Bullocks and a 50-yard return put the Saints in scoring position once again. Unable to capitalize on the touchdown, they settle for the 19-yard field goal by John Carney to make it a 10-3 game. Then D'Angelo Hall, a fumble recovery of an Antoine Smith fumble. He rumbled 66 yards with it to make it a 10-10 game and to tie things up for the Falcons. And then this now at the end of the first half as John Carney lined up to attempt a 47-yard field goal that was blocked, and a 58-yard return by Demario Williams makes the score 17-10 in favor of the Atlanta Falcons. Our halftime interview brought to you by Subway. Subway, eat fresh. And joining us, as I just mentioned, Brian Alley Walsh of the Times-Picayune. And who's Demario Williams?
Well, we'll know after the game who Demario Williams was. I mean, you talk about a major turn of events there in the final 20 seconds, 10 seconds. You know, Akeem thought he had a touchdown reception in the end zone, got called for pass interference. They turn around and block a field goal, and, you know, the defense has played really well. I mean, they've got Michael Vick back on his heels, and that normally doesn't happen against the Saints defense. So, you know, they're only 7 down. They made a couple of mistakes that have cost them, resulted in 2 touchdowns. But if they come out and play anything like they're capable of playing the second half, they can beat the Falcons team.
It's a strange thing which goes on in this National Football League each and every week, Brian. I mean, last week we saw the Saints play probably one of the worst ever. Maybe ever. Okay, maybe ranks up in there in the top 5.
Absolutely.
And at the same time last week, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, who had been playing pretty good football, are also getting beaten by Dallas. This football team under Schaub is being beaten at home by New England. Here the Saints come out today. They're emotional. They're flying around. They're knocking people around. They've really put the whack on Vic, which has got him looking like a different player right now each and every week. I mean, I know it's a cliche, but it really is true about what performance you can look for in any team.
Well, there's a bunch of 2-3 and 3-2 teams in this league right now, and it does speak to the parity of the league right now. And
They've put more pressure on Mike Vick than I've seen him put on him, I think, in recent memory. I mean, they're hitting him on every play. And it's got to take its toll, you know. Freddie Thomas has made 2 great plays. He made a great open field tackle on Michael, and then he broke up a potential touchdown pass in the end zone. So, you know, they're making plays. Antoine Smith's got to hold on to the ball. And I'll tell you what, the field goal block team, it looked like the levee at the 17th Street Canal. It caved in and had 4 or 5 players brush in and block, have a potential to block that field goal.
Yeah, that's what Jim and Hokie were commenting on. The protection was
awful. It was horrendous. I mean, I don't know what they were doing, because there were at least 4 or 5 guys on top of that ball.
How do you read, and what do you read into players like, let's say, James Allen? I mean, every time he's still not out there. They got Fakir Brown all of a sudden pops up, and he's going to play today. Alfred Fincher all of a sudden is okay. I mean, it really has been crazy. I know they've lost Deuce and all that, Brian, but I mean, we've seen enough over the years. It doesn't matter. You still got to go out there and play football, and you need your players to play, even if they are a little banged up.
Yeah, their injury report, I think they had 10 or 11 players on there this week, and you know, Joe Horn played early, and then he's been on the sideline, Kenny, so I wonder if
he took himself out.
Okay, because he's obviously not healthy, you know, not enough to play at 100%, but, you know, they missed Joe. Dante either catches 8 or 10 balls, or you know, he goes into hiding, so, you know, Oz has got to come through, Dante's got to come through, and, yeah, I think they're doing a good job running the football, and they've got to continue to do that in the second half.
Yeah, that play where Joe Horn got called for holding, he was in for one more play after that, he tapped his helmet, he took himself out, he hasn't been back in since, so, I mean, they need him out there, they need everybody out there, but what they need is, at least from one sense, they played a little smarter today. Not completely, but they have played at least a little smarter.
Well, you know, they did everything right at the very end, except, obviously, field goal protection, but, you know, Jim called a timeout, they gave the ball, they ran it, got another 4 yards to move it in closer for Carney, and then the protection broke down big time. I mean, that's a huge mistake, obviously.
Brian, thank you very much, as always, for taking time with us.
Yeah, look, can I say hello to Floyd Landry? He owns Floyd's Cajun Seafood House outside of Webster. A good Cajun guy, and anybody in the Houston area, go visit him, because he's
you can't tell him hello.
Oh, I can't tell him hello. All right. Thank you, buddy.
Okay. Brian, thank you very much. That's Brian Ellie Walsh of the Times-Picayune. Halftime with the score, the Atlanta Falcons 17 and the New Orleans Saints 10. We'll be back with our halftime statistics after this on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Attention, diesel mechanics, refrigeration techs, and electricians. Welsh Generators and Equipment Rental has immediate openings for diesel mechanics, refrigeration techs, and electricians for the Welsh locations in Broussard, Geismar, and LaRose, Louisiana, and Theodore, Alabama. Because of your past experience and skills, you could be working for Welch with solid benefits, competitive wages, locally owned, and in business in Louisiana since 1947. An equal opportunity employer. Call John Leday, 800-256-1924.
At Hibernia, there's nothing more important than the people they serve, their employees and communities. That's why Hibernia is dedicated to giving those affected by Hurricane Katrina the financial support necessary for getting on with their lives. For assistance, call toll-free 1-800-262-5689 or visit Hibernia.com. Hibernia employees are also reminded to contact their managers or call the Employee Emergency Hotline at 1-800-707-0489. Hibernia, where service matters. Member FDIC. As Greater New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected with the Big 870 WWL.
Back to San Antonio on the Alamodome. Kenny Wilkerson with you at the half. Our halftime numbers: Atlanta 117 yards and the Saints 221. 60 through the air for the Falcons and 57 on the ground. The Saints 89 through the air and 132 on the ground. You've got Michael Vick 5 of 14 for 60 yards. At the same time, Aaron Brooks is 7 of 13 for 103. Ward Dunn has carried it 8 times for 34. Antoine Smith leads the way for the New Orleans Saints, 9 carries for 64 yards. Those first half stats are brought to you by Louisiana Rents, your local Caterpillar dealer. Again, it's halftime with the score: Atlanta Falcons 17, New Orleans Saints 10. We'll be back with comments from our own Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, after this on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler Jeep and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
Ken Butler, president of Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership.
I see where those rent-owned stores are claiming they'll match our price on similar merchandise. You gotta be kidding me. They can't match the price or the merchandise at Aaron's. Aaron's has a huge selection of brand new, brand name furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers. And Aaron's doesn't just claim the lowest prices, we guarantee it. Or you can claim $100. So do the math. Nobody beats Aaron's. You can take that to the bank.
As Radio New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected with the Big 870 WWL.
This is Bobby Hebert on the Saints Radio Network. Unbelievable. I mean, are the Saints snake bit or what? I mean, they're in control of the game, totally dominating. I mean, that was not an interference call on Al-Hakim. Give me a break. I mean, he's going up, making a play, making a touchdown. They call interference on him. You know, the Saints are fortunate. Usually, the penalties that win against them in past games win against the Falcons. I mean, they were making plays. You look at this game, the Saints playing the best versus the run they played all season. They're stopping the run. They're running the ball. Antoine Smith, Aaron Stecker. I mean, Antoine Smith, 9 carries for 64 yards. The one negative play that really, I mean, God gave the Falcons a chance to get back in the game was the fumble. It was 4 minutes left in the second quarter. The Falcons fumbled on the 32-yard line. All of a sudden, the Falcons are back in the game. The Saints have been shutting them down. Josh Bullocks finally makes a play we're hoping he would make. You know, a good play by McKenzie. We get the interception. Brooks had some big-time throws in the first half. He's running the ball, making great decisions. One negative, Jason Krabs continues to get picked on. He's kind of like the weakest link, had a penalty called against him that really, you know, helped the Falcons on one scoring drive when they got a field goal. When the Saints get in the red zone, they got to score touchdowns. They're 29th in the NFL. They had 2 shots from the 3-yard line. Ask, why wasn't Antoine Smith in there? They're putting good pressure on Michael Vick, you know, and he's not able to run. I mean, a guy that really stepped up. You look in the first half, the whole secondary as a whole have made plays. Michael Vick has not been very accurate. And this is a reason why they have a chance. If you could stop the run and you can run the football, you're going to be in every game. Al-Hakim has 5 catches for 74 yards. The offensive line has given Aaron Brooks, you know, time to pass the football. But that's unbelievable to have that field goal blocked at the end. And it's just so frustrating because the Saints are playing great football compared, you know, to last week, yet they're down 17-10. So hopefully they can have a miraculous second half. I don't want to say comeback because they're only down 7 points, and we'll see how it turns out. But they're playing, you know, winning football. They're running the ball and able to stop the run, and that's what it takes. So hopefully the ball bounces their way in the second half and come away with a win. This is Bobby Hebert for the Saints Radio Network.
Saints are way ahead in time possession. They're way ahead in rushing yardage. They're way ahead in passing yardage. I mean, they have kind of beaten up the Falcons. It's been a fumble return for a touchdown, a blocked field goal return for a touchdown. But don't start feeling sorry for yourself right now. Get over there, try and feed off of it, and say, hey, guys, we're playing a heck of a football team, and we're also playing a heck of a football game. Let's just go out there and continue doing what we do, and don't hang your head about it.
It was a crazy final 22 seconds of that first half. It looked like the Saints had gone out to a 17-10 lead as Hakeem caught the football in the end zone, but guilty of pushing off D'Angelo Hall. Then Brooks was sacked. The Saints decided to run one more play before attempting a field goal. They attempted a 47-yarder, blocked by Boley, recovered by Atlanta's Demario Williams, and returned 59 yards for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. Here's the opening kickoff of the second. Rossum from his 3 to the 5-10. Running to the far side of the field and turning the corner across the 15. Hemmed in on the sideline by Kraft and driven out of bounds as he crosses his 25-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons. The Falcons really were held in check well by the Saints in the first half offensively. Michael Vick, 5 out of 14 for 60 yards. Intercepted once. Dunn, 8 carries for 34. Vick, 3 for 18. Duckett, 2 for 5, 13 for 57 for the Falcons in the opening half of this game. On first down, they'll run it with Warwick Dunn, and he's met at the line of scrimmage and taken down after a short gain by Willie Whitehead. Darren Howard had his hands on him as well.
I mean, Warwick Dunn gets so much credit for being a little scat back and his quick feet and all that kind of stuff. But I think one thing that people neglect on him is just how strong he is. That time he had Charles Grant and Willie Whitehead that collided into him, yet he was still able to pick up close to 3 yards.
Listed at just 5'9" and 180. On 2nd and 7 from his 29, Vick will hand it off to Dunn again, and this time looked to be Jonathan Sullivan who met him strongly at the line of scrimmage and threw him backward. Now it's Will Smith bearing down there who made the tackle. Will Smith pinching in. And he accepts the congratulations of Darren Howard, who comes on, as the Saints will go with their fast dime pass rush. That's 4 defensive ends coming in there on 3rd and 5 from the Falcon 31. Vick, who was shaken up in the first quarter, back in there now. He retreats, steps up, and he's going to be hit from behind and thrown backward. Will Smith clawing at the football, grabbed him around the shoulder pads and put him flat on his back at the 25-yard line for the Saints' first sack of the day and a loss of 6.
I mean, not only was it a good play by Will Smith to get the sack, but as you said, he grabbed him by the nape of the neck and made sure that he had a hold of Michael Vick, and then he was going after the football to try and strip it away from him. That's a heck of a play.
You don't have to demonstrate on me. I'm very fragile.
Well, I just want you to know how rough things are down there on the field.
It's getting rough up here. Michael Kanan to punt it away.
Well, I get into these football games sometimes.
I think like you got into that chili dog at halftime. Here's Kanan's punt, and it's a dandy. High toward the near sideline. Hakeem will field it at the 25 and go down at the 22-yard line. Nice punt and some excellent coverage by the Falcons' Lee Torrance. So the Saints will have it for the first time when we return with 12:59 to play in the third quarter. Falcons on top 17-10. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Springs Water Company owes its success to the people of the Gulf Coast. This is why Abita Springs Water will do its part to help rebuild the economy by continuing to operate in all areas affected by Hurricane Katrina. Sufficient supplies of bottled water are important during these times because other sources may have been compromised by storm damage. Remember, the Abita Man can. Contact him at any of our branches throughout the South by visiting abitasprings.com for local phone numbers.
At Hibernia, there's nothing more important than the people they serve, their employees and communities. That's why Hibernia is dedicated to giving those affected by Hurricane Katrina the financial support necessary for getting on with their lives. For assistance, call toll-free 1-800-262-5689 or visit hibernia.com. Hibernia employees are also reminded to contact their managers or call the Employee Emergency Hotline at 1-800-707-0489. Hibernia, where service matters. Member FDIC.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you know it'll help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks at Bama Chrysler.
The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected to home with the Big 870 WWL.
Allstate Insurance, good hands are here to help, so please call us at 1-800-54-STORM to report your loss. Allstate Insurance is here to help.
Saints have it 1st and 10 at their 23-yard line. Aaron Brooks in the first half, 7 out of 13 for 103 yards, sacked twice, had a rating of 80. Antoine Smith, 9 carries for 64, an average of 7.1 with a long of 24. That was a touchdown. Stecker opens at the running back position. Play action to him. Brooks with all the time in the world, and it's thrown incomplete. Going down to get it on one knee up around the 38-yard line appeared to be Dante Stallworth, and that's who it was. A first down as Stallworth brings in his second catch of the day. His first was for 11 yards. That's 17.
Well, because the Saints were able to establish a running game in the first half, I mean, that play-action fake it's doing right now is holding those linebackers just for that one step that you need.
1st and 10 Saints. The football at their 38, third quarter just underway. Here's Stecker again. Bounces off a tackler and scrambles forward to around the 42-yard line. Down around his ankles was Chad Lavallee, the 5th-round draft choice of a couple of years ago from LSU. That's a 5-yard gain.
I tell you, I like Aaron Stecker's toughness when he runs up inside. I mean, you kind of get that reputation of being a scat back. You like to bounce everything outside. I mean, tell you what, when he takes it up in the briar patch now, he'll lower his shoulder and run into people.
2nd and 6 from the 42. He put on about 10 pounds of muscle in the offseason, anticipating an increased workload. And he'll get the football again and break it outside. First down for Stecker into Falcon territory to the 48-yard line. One thing about Aaron Stecker, he can make people miss. That's a 10-yard gain.
Well, I don't mean to sound like a smart aleck, but the way that the Saints offensive line has been playing most of the year, you got to make people miss because they haven't. But today they have blocked extremely well. I think the best that I would say all season long.
Just seeing a replay of that blocked field goal at the end of the first half, Boley leapt over the blockers at the line of scrimmage and came home scot-free and was able to slap that ball away with 2 hands, resulting in the Falcon touchdown. Here's Brooks throwing it out to the far sideline, caught by Devery Henderson. You can do some business against this Falcon secondary, it would appear. That's an 8-yard gain.
Well, the big key is having time. And right now, I mean, what J.L. Moore is doing, he's bringing a lot of pressure, and he's trying to force Aaron into making that bad throw somewhere. And he's had a couple of bad throws in this game, but by and large, the Saints are doing a good job of picking up most of the blitzers and everything else, and Aaron's doing a nice job of making that one read and getting it out where he needs to.
2nd and 2 at the Falcon 40. One wide receiver to the left, a pair of tight ends to the near side of the formation, backs offset Aaron Stecker. Aaron Stecker picks his way forward and carries a tackler with him for the first down. There was nothing much there. He would have been close to the first down based on his initial surge, but he kept those legs pumping and was able to pick up the first down. They'll spot the football at the 35-yard line of the Falcons. That's a 5-yard gain.
And I like the way that things are going right now. And I like the way that Aaron Stecker is running the ball. I like the way the offensive line is coming off and moving that Falcons defensive line. So they just keep running the ball. I mean, you're only down by a touchdown.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line of the Falcons. Play action. Brooks with a lot of time again. Throws down the middle, and it's through the hands of Hakeem at the 19-yard line. Incomplete, and he was wide open down there.
Well, this NFL scoreboard is brought to you by Lennox Air Conditioning and Heating. Right now, Baltimore leads Cleveland 16-3. Carolina and Detroit tied up at 14 apiece. Jacksonville over Pittsburgh 17-14. Chicago leads Minnesota 7-3. Washington and Kansas City tied up at 14 apiece. Tampa Bay 10, Miami 6. Dallas leads the New York Giants 7-6. And Cincinnati and Cleveland tied up at 10 apiece.
2nd and 10 with the ball resting at the Falcon 35. 9:54 to play, third quarter. 17-10, Falcons on top. Hakeem in motion left to right. Pitch it to the right side to Stecker. Yeah. He's got a blocker inside the 30, inside the 25, down to around the 23-yard line. It's been a long time since you've seen the Saints run the toss sweep like that, and it's good for 12 yards.
I tell you, I mean, just a spunky guy when he's carrying the football. I mean, you see it. He knows how to be patient enough. I mean, he knows that he's got enough speed and quickness to be able to make that 1 cut, 2 cut, whatever it is. But see him being patient there. Let those blockers get themselves set up on defenders. And then after that, he just kind of lowers his shoulders, takes on those guys in the secondary, picks up the first down.
Jamar Nesbitt with a good seal block, and Hakeem a good block on the cornerback to make that play go. It is 1st and 10 at the Falcon 24. 9:09 to play third quarter. Saints trailing 17-10. Brooks hands off to Antoine Smith. Smith running hard inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line. That's an 11-yard gain. What more can you ask for right now? I mean, you've basically taken it right to the teeth of the Falcons defense. I mean, I know that they're missing their middle linebacker, Ned Hartwell, but, I mean, there's still a capable defense, capable crew that they have out there, and the Saints are just kind of taking the ball and going downhill with it, like they said they wanted to do all year long, imposing their will on the Falcons at the moment, just short of the first down. It'll be 2nd and 1 at the 15. Backs offset. Carney goes in motion. 2 tight ends to the right side of the formation. Here's Smith. Breaks it against the green. Inside the 5. Bangs over a tackler down to the 2. 1st and goal Saints as Antoine Smith taking it up there with some authority. Well, I mean, I think the guy is, he's kind of undercut himself a little bit, saying, no, I'm just kind of a straight ahead down here runner. He's made 3 cuts in this ball game that you just, I mean, it's not typical Antoine Smith. But then once he got into the secondary, he said, oh, I'm going to be typical Antoine Smith right now, and that's run over people. That's a 20-yard gain to the 1. 1st and goal Saints, 7:50 to play, third quarter. Falcons leading 17-10. Ends in tight. Smith, the tailback. Here's Antoine Smith. Left side, cuts it back. Touchdown. Was going to break it out to the sideline. Cut it back against the grain and went in, standing up for his 2nd touchdown of the day. And you sit there and you look at that offensive line right now, what they did in this drive, not only how good the drive was, but after some of those big plays where they just came off and punched people in the mouth, how those offensive linemen were getting up off the ground, you know, cheering themselves on, patting the running back on the head and everything else, saying, you know what, I mean, this is what we were designed for. This is the best running output that the Saints have had by far this season. Antoine Smith taking this football to the sideline. He gave the earlier one to his wife, and he's hunting through the crowd to see who might get this one. And he will take it to the sideline and throw it up into the crowd to some Saints fans in the front row. Well, I think that was about the same area he put the last one, so I'm guessing he gave it to his wife again. We might want to take her on the road with us. Extra point by Carney is up and through, and the Saints impressively tie things up at 17 with 7:39 to play. Third quarter. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
To our valued customers and friends, please know that your safety is a great concern. At U.S. agencies, we care, and our disaster claims team is standing by to assist you with your claim. If you've been displaced by this disaster, walk into one of our many neighborhood offices throughout Louisiana. Contact us on the web at usagencies.com or call us at 1-800-958-8545. That's 1-800-958-8545. U.S. Agencies.
Hi, this is Kenny Wilkerson for Briggs Equipment. Briggs Equipment is the largest distributor of all forklifts and the leader for parts and service on all models of forklifts. They will have the parts and expertise to fix any forklift, and Briggs Equipment's rapid quality service is not an accident, it's a promise. Briggs Equipment.
Shop Kirschman's for all your furniture needs. New appliances, mattresses, sleeper sofas, recliners, casual dining, and sofas in fabrics and leather. No gimmicks, no interest-free tricks, just simple low prices. Guaranteed only at Kirschman's Home Furnishings. Veterans, West Bank, Covington, and Baton Rouge.
Ray Brandt Dodge is now open for business, and all of our inventory is high and dry. Choose from over 400 new Dodge vehicles and over 100 pre-owned vehicles that have absolutely no water damage. Ray Brandt Dodge has $750 disaster cash, rebates up to $7,250, employee pricing and no payments for 120 days. Ray Brandt Dodge is now open. West Bank Expressway, exit Manhattan. Call 1-866-569-5555.
Stay connected to the information you need to rebuild your life. The Big 870 WWL.
Line report. All right, guys, that's Antoine Smith's cousin sitting next to his wife, who he just gave that football to. Most importantly, though, Joe Horn, they've been going without him for a while. He's down here stretching and running. Looks like he's trying to get back in there next time offense is on the field. And Jim Haslett having a long conversation with Aaron Brooks as he came off the field. And I couldn't hear all of it, but he was definitely talking to him about managing the game and managing the rest of it. They got it back to basically a 0-0 game. They're playing pretty good football. They've had their moments. And I think he's being very careful with Aaron to get out there and manage this and be smart about the rest of this
kickoff to the near sideline. Rossum takes it on the fly at the 11 to the 15. He's to the 20. The little scat back is across the 30. As a flag is thrown, and he goes down at the 38. Now a second and a third flag are thrown.
Well, there's no doubt somebody was holding Nate Poole for an illegal block because all three of those flags converged in the same spot.
Would have been a 28-yard return. Freddie McAfee a bit shaken up as he comes to the sideline. So this has really been an entertaining game. Been fun. Really has.
Hey, you remember a couple years ago?
During the return, 10-yard penalty, number 33.
A couple years ago in the Superdome, kind of had the same kind of ball game. The Falcons ended up winning it, but you and I both said somebody's got to lose this game. It's going to be a shame. That's who it was.
Justin Griffith holding. Timeout on the field. 7:31 to play third quarter. 17 all our score. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Allstate would like to express their concern for those affected by Hurricane Katrina. The Allstate Catastrophe Team is standing by, ready to help you with your claim. If you have any questions or need to file a claim, please call 1-800-54-STORM. Allstate also has their mobile response unit in the impacted areas with teams of claim specialists ready to assist you. Again, the number for Allstate customers to call is 1-800-54-STORM. When you're ready, Allstate is there to help. Message provided by Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
Attention, diesel mechanics, refrigeration techs, and electricians. Welsh Generators and Equipment Rental has immediate openings for diesel mechanics, refrigeration techs, and electricians for the Welsh locations in Broussard, Geismar, and LaRose, Louisiana, and Theodore, Alabama. Because of your past experience and skills, you could be working for Welch with solid benefits, competitive wages, locally owned, and in business in Louisiana since 1947. An equal opportunity employer. Call John Leday, 800-256-1924. A part of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected and informed with the Big 870 WWL.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
You're listening to the Big 870 WWL 870 AM New Orleans.
Getting loud in the Alamodome in response to Charles Grant. 1st and 10 for the Falcons from their 18-yard line. Vick, play action, rolling to his left. He's got a lot of time. Pumps, going to run with the football, forced to the sideline. Puts a move on Colby Bachwald, who says that he was out of bounds back around the 23-yard line. The officials had it up closer to a first down.
And to Abita Springs Water Company employees, we are concerned about those of you that we have not heard from. If you had not contacted us, call us at 504-828-2500 or email us at abitaman@abitasprings.com. Abita Springs Water has resumed operations and welcomes you back to work.
Vick stepped out at the 26, second and a couple. Handoff work done into a pile on the right side. Be close to the first down, depending on where they unstack the pile of Saints and Falcons. The Saints have done a very grudgingly good job against the run today. Of course, the thing that, as Jim Haslett has always said, the thing about Dunn is he always seems to get that one big burst per game. So far, he's been pretty much held down. That's a gain of 3. And in the first half, his longest gain was 11. A first down it is. 1st and 10 at the Falcon 29. Crumpler in motion. He's been quiet. Backs in an eye. Play action Vick. Vick, as the pocket breaks down, he's going to be hit from behind as he scrambles up for a couple to around the 31-yard line. He was brought down by Darren Howard, who's playing at a gimpy knee, and Howard and Ron McKinnon bumped chests, as the Saints have played with a whole lot more enthusiasm and spirit than they did from the very outset a week ago.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you know what one of my biggest surprises of this game is? Right before this drive started, not only was Charles Garrett trying to get the crowd fired up, Jonathan Sullivan was.
Whoa. I'm sure he wasn't ordering a hot dog. 2nd and 7 from the 32. This play will be blown dead. The handoff went to Dunn, but a false start against the Falcons.
That was the first time I've ever seen Sullivan show any emotion at all.
65 offense, 5-yard penalty. Equals second down.
Keenan Forney, the right guard, with the false start. And people have criticized Aaron Brooks for not showing emotion. On that last touchdown by Antoine Smith, Brooks jumped all over his shoulders, had a vertical leap of about 6 feet, trying to congratulate the running back, and continued to pummel him along the sideline in exuberance. 2nd and 12 at the Falcon 27. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff on the delay. Warwick Dunn slips down, gets back on his feet, and picks up a few more to around the 34-yard line.
I'm going to tell you what, Warwick Dunn, as great a back as he is, I mean, who am I to say? But if he would have just stayed outside on that, he had a big game going. He tried to cut it back into the middle, and that's when he lost his footing. Now, he still popped up and picked up a nice game, but if he would have just kept it out to the outside on that draw play, he would have had a huge gainer. That would have been that one big pop that Hazard was talking about.
Pickup of 8 brings up 3rd and 5. There's a problem with the play clock as Vic heads to the sideline for some last-second words from his offensive coordinator, Greg Knapp. Now he's back in the huddle. On 3rd and 5 from the Falcon 34. 17-all our score. White is split out wide to the right. McKenzie quit cheerleading and get into the game. Jenkins wide left. Finneran in motion. Vic out of the shotgun as the Saints rush 4. Has a lot of time. Now he's bouncing around, being chased by Will Smith, who misses him. 2 other Saints miss it. Courtney Watson has him, but it looks like he's got the first down.
Oh, man. It is so frustrating. I mean,
he is so elusive.
I truly love watching great players play. I just hate when they're always in our division. You know, I mean, you think back through the years, the Montanas and the Youngs and the Wright, the Roger Craig and Marshall Falk and William Andrews and all those guys, and now you got Michael Vick. But, I mean, he is truly something special.
He picks up the first down at the Falcon 40. 3:53 to play, 3rd quarter, 17-all our score. Here's Dunn. Slips a tackle in the backfield, and he's up to around the 44-yard line. Charles Grant with some penetration. And also Darren Howard, but that's a pickup of 5, and it'll bring up 2nd and 5 with the football resting at the Falcon 44. The Saints have really been coming off the ball with both their offensive and defensive lines. 2 wideouts to the right. Quick count and a handoff to Dunn. Dunn, losing his helmet, gets up to midfield. Well, that might have been a Saint who lost his helmet. It was Cedric Hodge who lost his helmet. And a first down at midfield.
And this NFL scoreboard is brought to you by A1 Appliance and Electronics. Baltimore leads Cleveland 16-3. Carolina and Detroit tied up at 14 apiece. Jacksonville leads Pittsburgh 17-7. Chicago 14, Minnesota 3. Kansas City 21, Washington 14. Tampa 13, Miami 6. The Dallas leads the Giants 7-6. And Cincinnati and Tennessee tied up at 17 apiece.
14 carries, 59 yards for Dunn. Here's Vic fading. He's got a wide open receiver. And it is not caught. Bullocks came over there late. It was intended for Des White. He was all by himself at the 16-yard line, and Vic will never have an easier completion go awry.
And I don't think that was Josh Bullock's man. I think that was Mike McKenzie. Des White does a stop and go on him. McKenzie thought he was going to run it to the inside and just got fooled on that route. Thank goodness that Josh Bullock was over there, because I do think that Des White took his eye off the ball for just a second when he saw Josh Bullock coming in.
Had it in his hands, but it fell from his grasp as it hit the ground. 2nd and 10 from midfield. Handoff to Griffith. And he gets a rare opportunity to carry the football down to around the 45-yard line of the Saints. Justin Griffith with the carry. That's only his 2nd of the season. He carried once before for 5, so maybe TJ Duckett is a little infirm today. We haven't seen much of him.
Not a whole lot out of him, but I don't know. I never did get an injury report up here.
3rd and 6 from the Saint 46. Vic up under center. Crumpler in motion. 4 receivers to go out. As Vic drops, Saints coming on the blitz. Vic throws, and it is going to be picked off, and a flag has been thrown. Bullock has the football at the 36-yard line. Did Jason Kraft interfere again?
Yes, he did. That's what the call is.
Oh, my gosh. It's going to be wiped out on a pass interference call as Jason Kraft guilty of interference.
And I tell you what, he didn't need to because...
The pass, illegal contact, 21, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It was going to be a poor throw on the part of Michael Vick anyway because the Saints were coming with the pressure right up the middle. He threw the ball and just kind of left it hanging in center field right there. Jason Kraft didn't need to interfere.
Well, nobody's going to give Kraft any problems about it on the Saints sideline as nobody comes up to give him an earful. He's on the sideline after the first down at the 42-yard line of the Saints. Falcons will hand it off to Warwick Dunn, and Warwick Dunn is spun down by Brian Young short of the 35-yard line.
Well, there's been a lot of occasions in this ball game where the Saints defense would be able to get the Falcons off the field on 3rd down, and a scramble by Michael Vick, pass interference call down there by Jason Kraft, things like that. But they're overall, I would say that this is the best performance that the Saints defense has had so far this year. Would you agree with that?
I would. 2nd and 5 from the 36. Finneran split out wide to the right. Crumpler goes in motion left to right. Backs in an eye. The tailback is done. He gets the carry right side. And McKinnon can't bring him down as he spins inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line for a 9-yard gain and a first down. He's so hard to find along that line of scrimmage. He's only 5'9" to begin with, and he runs very, very low to the ground.
It's what you call body lean. He's got great strength, and he never gives up on a run. He's just one of those kind of guys. I mean, a lot like Emmitt Smith used to be, just a guy that doesn't quit.
Falcons on the march to the 28-yard line of the Saints. 1st and 10 in the final 40 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Handoff Dunn, stops sweeping left and runs right into the waiting arms of Brian Young. Very little gain on the play, if any. The Falcons don't have to run another play in the 3rd quarter. It appears that they won't as Michael Vick heads to the sideline. Well, this is one of the typical Saint-Falcon battles, and it seems like so often in this game and in most games, if you score 17, you usually lose. They're both at 17 as the final seconds of the 3rd quarter have elapsed. Don't go anywhere. 15 minutes left, and that's in regulation. The Falcons and the Saints tied at 17. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Hey folks, Hokie Gajan here from Napa Auto Parts. Most of our Napa stores are open again for business, and Napa has immediate openings for countermen, drivers, and warehouse employees. Apply in person at any Napa store. In the New Orleans area, you can visit the Napa New Orleans Distribution Center on Shrewsbury near Jefferson, or call 504-834-2217 and speak to Peggy Rubio. Together, we can rebuild New Orleans and the Gulf Coast.
At Hibernia, there's nothing more important than the people they serve, their employees and communities. That's why Hibernia is dedicated to giving those affected by Hurricane Katrina the financial support necessary for getting on with their lives. For assistance, call toll-free 1-800-262-5689 or visit hibernia.com. Hibernia employees are also reminded to contact their managers or call the Employee Emergency Hotline at 1-800-707-0489. Hibernia, where service matters. Member FDIC. Louisiana Machinery is hiring diesel technicians. Louisiana Machinery offers excellent pay, group medical, 401k, pension, life insurance, vacation and holidays, and now a sign-on bonus. Louisiana Machinery is a statewide authorized cat dealer and leader in diesel-powered industrial equipment. They'll train you on new products. If you have your own tools, call 1-800-374-1197. 1-800-374-1197. Louisiana Machinery, an equal opportunity employer. As Greater New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected with the Big 870, WWL.
There's going to be 4 great games in Baton Rouge starting on October the 30th. Order your tickets for one game for as low as $15 a ticket, or you can order a special 4-game pack. You can call Ticketmaster at 1-800-877-0898 or online at NewOrleansSaints.com, or you can stop by the Pete Maravich Assembly Center box office in Baton Rouge on the LSU campus.
Looking forward to those 4 in Baton Rouge and the chance to stay home most of Saturday and into Saturday night before making our way to Baton Rouge.
I don't know that I'm really looking forward to it that much, because you're going to want to bum a ride from me from Mandeville to Baton Rouge. I just don't know if I want to handle that.
Well, I might have to.
I know I ain't riding in your car.
You couldn't fit in there. On the first play of the 4th quarter, here's a naked bootleg by Vic, and he's going to throw it away.
I'm going to tell you what Will Smith did right there, that's as good as you can defend that thing. I mean, don't bite on the play going away. And when Michael Vick rolls out, make sure that you stay in front of him. I mean, you're acting like a basketball guard out there. No reason to attack him, because if you do, he's going to make that one step one way or another, and that's what Michael Vick is looking for. Will Smith played that perfectly.
3rd and 10 from the 28-yard line of the Saints as this defense tries to get off the field here during the long march by the Falcons. Roddy White split out wide to the left. 3 wide receivers to the right. One of them Crumpler in motion. He joins Vick in the backfield for protection. Here's Vick to throw, dancing around, running with the football inside the 20, diving down to around the 17-yard line. That's what he is so dangerous doing. The Saints, obviously, their intention is to rush just 4, keep him in the pocket. But the pass rush can't get to him soon enough until he sees, I can't complete this thing, I'm going to take off.
That's not the problem. The problem is you've got to stay in your lane when you're rushing him. You can't, if you're playing in the middle, you can't jump to one side or the other, because those ends are coming up the field. And when you're playing the tackle, if you jump too far to the inside, that leaves a huge hole between the end and the inside tackle.
9-yard gain, first down at the Saints 17. Run it with Dunn, running room inside the 10, down to around the 6-yard line.
All right, well, that's 2 times on this drive that Michael Vick has converted a 3rd down by himself, and it's all because of a little bit of undisciplined pass rush on the part of the Saints. I mean, if you make him stay in the pocket and make him throw it down the field, well, then that's one thing. Well, everybody in the league knows what that guy can do once he breaks out of the pocket.
It's a 9-yard gain, and it brings up 2nd and 1 at the 7. 17 all game. A tie that the Falcons are looking to break. Handoff Dunn. Lowers his head. Might have picked up a yard. He might have the first down, depending on the spot of the football. He can give you the big play. He can get you the tough yard. And they're going to call for a measurement. You don't have to be the biggest guy in the world to convert on short yardage. In fact, I think Marshall Faulk coming into this season was the most successful runner in the NFL in doing that.
Hey, let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson with an Abita Springs Water Saints sideline report.
Yeah, I'm looking right at it. It's a first down. It's going to be by about half the length of the football, but it will be a first down when they stretch these chains out here in a second.
By about half the length of the football, as you said, Kenny. 1st and goal for the Falcons. 13:22 to play, 4th quarter. We're tied at 17. It was 7-3 Saints after 1, 17-10 Atlanta after 2, 17 all after 3, with Antoine Smith's 1-yard touchdown, the only score of that 3rd quarter. The Falcons on a long and concerted march here that is carried to the 6-yard line, 1st and goal. Crumpler in motion. The tailback is done. He'll have the football. Sweeping right. He's going to throw. He stops. He looks. He can't find anybody. And he'll go down back at the 12-yard line. They wanted to get it to Crumpler, but I think it was Mike McKenzie who was all over him.
Yeah, I tell you what, Saints did a great job. Well, number one, it didn't fool the defense all that much because Warwick Dunn has been known to take that stretch play and bounce it to the outside. So the Saints had good pursuit. But as soon as he pulled that thing up, Mike McKenzie was Johnny on the spot to pick up Crumpler. Didn't fool him one bit. He played his responsibility. The Saints defense collapsed to get the loss of yardage.
Of 7. That'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 12. Empty backfield as Dunn goes in motion. Here's Vick looking out in the left flat. Wide open is Griffith. He will score. A blown coverage by the Saints as the fullback sifts out into the left flat, takes in the pass, and goes in for the touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown strike to Justin Griffith, his second reception for a touchdown this season.
Well as they did of diagnosing the halfback pass the play before with Warwick Dunn, that time they did a pathetic job. But yet, you have to look at it from the standpoint, when a guy hardly touches the ball at all, then, a lot of times it's kind of easy for him to get lost in the shuffle, and I think that's what happened there. Still no excuse for it. I just don't think that anybody accounted for Griffith.
Todd Peterson's extra point is through as the Falcons retake the lead. With 12:17 to play in the fourth quarter, it is now Atlanta 24 and New Orleans 17. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Hey, this is Bobby Hebert, part of the Domino's and RPM Pizza team. Many of you fellow team members have not reported in, so please call 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217. At Domino's, we're concerned about you and your family's safety. Call today at 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217. As you return, be assured you do have a job. At Domino's and RPM, we're local and ready to rebuild. Stores are coming online daily, and we're getting stronger every day. 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217.
Hi, this is Kenny Wilkerson for Briggs Equipment. Briggs Equipment is the largest distributor of all forklifts and the leader for parts and service on all models of forklifts. They will have the parts and expertise to fix any forklift, and Briggs Equipment's rapid quality service is not an accident, it's a promise. Briggs Equipment.
Here's Mark Maricelli, District Manager, Lennox Industries.
As you rebuild your life, you need not fear your air conditioning contractor if he's from Lennox. Lennox is the best you can get for ridding mold through dehumidification. So when choosing, choose a dealer you can trust, your local Lennox dealer.
To our valued customers and friends, please know that your safety is a great concern. At U.S. agencies, we care, and our disaster claims team is standing by to assist you with your claim. If you've been displaced by this disaster, walk into one of our many neighborhood offices throughout Louisiana. Contact us on the web at usagencies.com or call us at 1-800-958-8545. That's 1-800-958-8545. U.S. Agencies. As Greater New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected to the latest with the Big 870 WWL.
Will be donating $3 per rushing yard that the Saints gained to the Deuce McAllister Catch-22 Foundation. And tell you what, Saints running game has been going good today.
It has with Antoine Smith and Aaron Stecker. Jesse Chapman, the newest Saint, acquired in that trade with Miami, inactive today. The Falcons went on a 10-minute and 22-second drive. 18 plays, 82 yards, 12 yards. Vick to Justin Griffith through the air for the touchdown that puts them on top by a score of 24-17. And despite that 10-minute and 22-second drive, the Saints still own a 21-second advantage in time of possession. Here's the kickoff. It's a knuckleball that hits at the 12, picked up at the 4 by Az Hakim. To the 20, he's to the 25. He's up to around the 27 as a late flag is thrown. End of the play, a flag was thrown, and the official has to pick it up and throw it again. He was so far away from the play to get even close to where now he's going to throw it a third time.
Return. The illegal block in the back. 28 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. Receivers will keep the ball. First down.
That's another new Saint, Sadiq Shabazz, who is guilty of the infraction. A timeout on the field, 12:11 to play. Falcons 24 and Saints 17. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Unexpected turns. Sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler Jeep and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
Abita Springs Water Company owes its success to the people of the Gulf Coast. This is why Abita Springs Water will do its part to help rebuild the economy by continuing to operate in all areas affected by Hurricane Katrina. Sufficient supplies of bottled water are important during these times. because other sources may have been compromised by storm damage. Remember, the Abita Man can. Contact him at any of our branches throughout the South by visiting abitasprings.com for local phone numbers.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
Crescent City is you. Stay connected to home with the Big 870 WWL.
And let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
You're listening to the Big 870 WWL 870 AM New Orleans.
It's a New Orleans Saints tradition to turn down the sound on your TV and turn up the Saints Radio Network next Sunday at noon when the Saints take on the St. Louis Rams. Turn up the Saints Radio Network.
1st and 10 Saints from their 17. Run it on first down, and upended is Stecker after a short gain. Falcons come firing across the line of scrimmage and limit Stecker to a 2-yard gain. 65,562 fans here in the Alamodome today. The largest crowd in this building for a sporting event.
And they've been treated to a good one so far.
They have. After the pickup of just one, it's 2nd and 9 at the Saint 18. Henderson wide right, Stallworth wide left, backs offset. Brooks play action. Has time, now rolls to his right. All the way back at his 4, he throws it upfield, and this will be a loss on the play on a catch by Stecker as the safety valve man will spot the football just beyond the 15-yard line. A loss of 3, and there's a flag down on the play. Saw some helmets coming loose. Montre Holland had his ripped from his head.
But that flag was thrown in the secondary.
Illegal contact, 36, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Jason Webster, who followed Jim Mora here from the 49ers, the right cornerback, with the illegal contact and a first down for the Saints on the 5-yard penalty up to the 23-yard line. Less than 11:30 to play, clock running, Saints trailing 24-17 in what has been a dandy football game. Henderson in motion. They're going to give it to him on the end around. He's got a lot of room. Devery Henderson, 25-30 up to the 32-yard line, where he's brought down by that cornerback, Jason Webster. Brilliantly set up, however, as it looked like Devery Henderson might go a long way with that. Instead, it's a 9-yard gain, and it brings up 2nd and 1.
But they had nobody out there to block Webster. I mean, there's one thing about doing a naked bootleg where you're trying to fool the defensive lineman and linebackers into going one way. You get them that one step out of position, something like that. But you can't run a reverse and not block the opposite cornerback.
Webster making the tackle, and it's 2nd and a long 1 with the ball at the 31 of the Saints. One wide receiver, Stallworth to the near side. Stecker bounces it outside, and he's taken down hard by Brooking, I believe that was, who met him at the 35-yard line and threw him backward.
And this broadcast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is strictly prohibited.
And though he's played well today, we are almost 6 games into this season, and Aaron Brooks has 2 touchdown passes.
Well, that's, it's just kind of one of the idiosyncrasies of this season.
Here's play action as Brooks looks to throw on first down, pulls it back down, throws it to Henderson, makes a move into Falcon territory to around the 47-yard line. did a nice job coming back for that football and then made the kind of move that good wide receivers do, the kind of pirouette inside, and picked up additional yardage for the first down and a gain of 13.
I think right there you kind of starting to see Devery Henderson mature a little bit as a football player, because he did, when he came back for that football, he came back a long way, probably a good 7 or 8 yards, and like you said, he knew just to turn the ball back inside to the middle of the field and picked up additional yardage.
Jason Webster victimized. 1st and 10 Saints at the 47 of the Falcons with 9:04 to play. Saints are trailing. Falcons showing blitz. Here's Brooks pumping. The screen, and it's going to be Stecker taken down at the 48-yard line. Kendall Jaycox didn't get much of his man. Foley was there. Williams was there. Didn't get much. Didn't get any.
Oh, I mean, they had the blitz coming. It was worked out perfect. You had 3 offensive linemen out there. You had the back out there. Aaron was doing what he normally does. He's under pressure, but you had everything you were looking for. All you had to do was block the linebacker, and they threw a no-hitter.
Michael Foley, who provided one of the big plays of this game with the field goal block just before half that ended up being a touchdown for the Falcons, makes the play there.
Really here in the last couple of weeks on special teams, and now they're kind of mixing him in a little bit into the passing game.
In the absence of Joe Horn, who saw some action early in this game and hasn't had an opportunity to play since, doesn't have a catch. And it'll bring up 3rd and 2 from the 39-yard line of the Falcons. Saints are trailing by 7. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. Brooks, well protected, throws downfield, catch is made by Devery Henderson. They're just all over Webster. They're playing so soft on those corners, in particular Webster, that Henderson had all sorts of room as he broke it to the sideline, hopped out of bounds with the football at the 27-yard line. Saint first down, a 12-yard gain.
Well, you know, you mentioned that about Joe Horn just a minute ago, and what happens with a guy with a hamstring injury prior to the game, you got the trainers and everybody else, you know, they're in there massaging that thing down, they're getting some heat on it, getting it good and loosed up, and you come out, you know, you do your pregame warm-up, and all of a sudden when the game starts and you have to sit over on the bench, you know, during the course of an 8-minute, 9-minute drive, that thing will tighten up on you. You don't want a guy to re-pull it.
1st and 10 Saints from the Falcon 27. Here's Brooks throwing. Flag has been thrown. Stallworth makes the catch, tumbles into the end zone for the touchdown.
The touchdown. That's going to be pass interference against Jason Webster.
Way back at the 22-yard line. Dante Stallworth in the end zone for the first time this season. Aaron Brooks with the touchdown throw, his 3rd of the year. And the Saints with an extra point will have tied this thing up.
Well, we were talking about it. After the Falcons scored their touchdown, put the Saints in a 7-point hole, you know, you and I were talking about it. There's no reason to change anything right now. I mean, you got plenty of time on the clock, and there's still plenty of time on the clock with 6:56 left. But, you know, I mean, you're able to run the football. You're able to kind of pick on the corners out there. Just continue to do what you've been doing. Pretty impressive drive by the Saints.
It was, and ended with a 27-yard strike. Dante Stallworth getting behind the often victimized Jason Webster. We told you that the Patriots threw for a ton of yards against this Falcons secondary last week. The Saints have had a lot of success themselves in the end zone through the air for the first time today. John Carney's extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And so we've got a dandy going. With 6:56 remaining, we're tied at 24. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
That the hardest thing about a hurricane is the disaster left behind. So they're committed to helping New Orleans get through this by keeping the items you need the most in stock. If you're looking for flashlights, batteries, power inverters, siphon pumps, gas cans, plugs, small engine accessories, tarps, or oil, O'Reilly has you covered. Whether you need a part for your car or items to get through a hurricane, remember O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts at better prices. And there when you need them most. Allstate would like to express their concern for those affected by Hurricane Katrina. The Allstate Catastrophe Team is standing by, ready to help you with your claim. If you have any questions or need to file a claim, please call 1-800-54-STORM. Allstate also has their mobile response unit in the impacted areas with teams of claim specialists ready to assist you. Again, the number for Allstate customers to call is 1-800-54-STORM. When you're ready, Allstate is there to help. Message provided by Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected and informed with the Big 870 WWL.
There's going to be 4 great games in Baton Rouge starting on October the 30th, and hopefully they'll all be as great as this. You can order your tickets for one game for as low as $15 a ticket, or you can order a special 4-game pack. Call Ticketmaster at 1-800-877-0898, or you can order online at NewOrleansSaints.com, or you can stop by the Pete Maravich Assembly Center box office on the LSU campus in Baton Rouge, or preferably just do all 3 and get as big a crowd there as we've had here. Well, I'm going to tell you what, if they'll continue to play like this, there's no reason why they shouldn't. 83 yards, 8 plays, 5 minutes and 21 seconds. The last 27, Brooks to Stallworth, tying it at 24. 6:56 remaining. The kickoff by Berger, fielded at the 7 by Rossum. 15, he's up to the 20, running to the far sideline. Pinch to the sideline by Fincher, and he's out of bounds over there. They'll say he stepped out of bounds right around the 25-yard line. Timeout on the field. 6:50 left in regulation. Falcons and Saints tied at 24. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network. It's a New Orleans Saints tradition to turn down the sound on your TV and turn up the Saints Radio Network. Next Sunday at noon, when the Saints take on the St. Louis Rams, we'll turn up the Saints Radio Network, and we know where we will be eating dinner next weekend in St. Louis. I know you'll be playing hurt next Sunday after that 64-ounce prime rib at Cress's. 1st and 10 for the Falcons at their 25-yard line. Michael Vick sets up the screen, and it's going to be Griffith buried. Saints diagnosed that beautifully. Cedric Hodge was all over the screen pass and just jumped on Griffith's back immediately, and the Saints were coming off the corner with Will Smith, who plopped Michael Vick right on his back with the pass rush. Boy, I think, look at the way he did it. He put the hands in the chest, make sure that he did not go to the head, because that flag is coming. Loss of 1 brings up 2nd and 11 from the Falcon 24. Crumpler in motion. Handoff done. Nowhere to run right side. Cuts it back to the left. Gets a little bit. And that was Will Smith with the tackle. Back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a yard more. Isn't it amazing how when you're playing good football, how it's contagious to everybody? You know, I mean, you see the linebackers flying up and those guys are making plays. You see a guy like Jonathan Sullivan standing there on the line cheering and everything else. Both sides of the football, their offense and defense, playing especially well right now. This is a huge play here on 3rd and 9 from the 26-yard line of the Falcons. Saints couldn't get off the field in the last Falcon march. They'll try to here from the shotgun. Here's Victor, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Tony Bryant had his hands up and swatted the football away. Well, finally they got the Falcons off the field on 3rd down. That was one thing that they could not do on that last drive that went 10 minutes and 22 seconds. Yeah, 18 plays and 10 minutes and 22 seconds. They had 4 opportunities to get them off the field on 3rd down. This time they couldn't. Brian Young comes right up the middle, sticks the big paw up there, bats it down at the line. So Michael Kanan will punt it away. Oz Hakeem awaits it at the 30. Saints didn't have enough players on the field. Freddie Thomas comes on to be the 11th. Here's Kanan as the Saints have a return on. He drills it.
Hakeem backpedals all the way to his 19-yard line. Slips the tackle, runs into his own blocker, and down he'll go. He ran right into Jason Kraft, who was trying to block for him. There's an altercation that's going on.
All right, let's not do anything stupid right there. And I tell you what, I like the way the officials are letting those guys get away with a little bit of pushing and shoving and not throwing the flag. Just get in there and break up the scuffle.
49-yard punt, timeout on the field, 5:21 to play in regulation. We're tied at 24. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
I'd like to give a speech to Ken here. Ken, you always know how to help.
Greg?
Just a minute, Carol. To Ken, the guy who lets me change my Altel plan whenever I darn well feel like it without changing my contract.
Honey, Ken has other customers.
Sorry, I just get so emotional every time I come in here.
Greg, put Ken down. When Altel lets you change your plan whenever you feel like it without changing your contract, what's not to love? See store or Altel.com for details.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
O'Reilly knows that the hardest thing about a hurricane is the disaster left behind. So they're committed to helping New Orleans get through this by keeping the items you need the most in stock. If you're looking for flashlights, batteries, power inverters, siphon pumps, gas cans, plugs, small engine accessories, tarps, or oil, O'Reilly has you covered. Whether you need a part for your car or items to get through a hurricane, remember O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts at better prices. And there when you need them most. As Greater New Orleans rebuilds, stay connected to the latest with the Big 870 WWL.
5:21 left in this football game in regulation. Saints 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 20-yard line. This has been a terrific battle between these very familiar foes. The Saints have played the Falcons more so than any team in the NFL.
Which means they've lost to the Falcons more than any team in the NFL.
42 times while winning 30. First down. Brooks up under center. Carney in motion. Tailback is Stecker. Play action. Brooks with a lot of time. Delivers the football, and it's bounced up into the air and intercepted by Brooking. Brooking down the sideline. Tackled by Carney at the 11-yard line. Threw it into a crowd. It bounced up in the air, and Keith Brooking, the linebacker on the weak side, brought it back 19 yards.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I don't fault the throw for the fact that he threw it in amongst a bunch of the Falcons. What I fault is that the ball was a little bit off target. It's not like he threw it in just to a giant crowd. Devery Henderson had a little lane. The ball was just a little off mark, and he had to reach out. When he reached out, the ball got popped up in the air.
And Brooking returns it to the 11-yard line with 5:09 to play.
All right, well, this is the one thing you don't want. You don't want the Falcons to sit here and grind it out and chew up all the time on the clock.
Warwick Dunn, the tailback, gets the call. And Dunn, with a flag being thrown, is thrown backward himself at the 11-yard line by McKinnon and Backwald. Flag is thrown at the line of scrimmage.
This is the point that I'm making, what I just said.
61, offense, 10-yard penalty, 3-play first down.
Matt Lair.
You don't want to just go ahead and surrender on defense and let the Falcons get the ball in the end zone or kick the field goal. But what you don't want them to do is sit there and just grind it out, 3 downs and then get the first. 3 downs and get the first and chew up whatever time you got. Because the Falcons are in field goal range right now. So you got to do something. You either got to try and come up with a turnover on your own or make sure that you shut them down on these rundowns where they don't burn off all that 5:55 or 4:55 off the clock.
First and 20 now from the 21 after the penalty. Handoff Dunn, sweeping right, cuts it back upfield inside the 10. He's to the 5. You're going to get your wish because he's in the end zone, I think. Diving to the pylon. No signal as yet. Now, yes. A signal by the side judge
Touchdown, Warwick Dunn, 21 yards.
All right, and the Saints defense did not surrender right there. That was just a hell of a run on the part of Warwick Dunn. But what you've done, you've left yourself a bunch of time on the clock. So now you got the opportunity to get out there and just, like I said, just because you're down 7 right now, you got 4 minutes, 37 seconds left to go on the clock, that you can still stick with your original game plan because you still got all 3 timeouts left plus a 2-minute warning.
21-yard scamper for the touchdown by Warwick Dunn. He hits the 100-yard mark in 22 carries with that touchdown. Peterson adds the extra point, and with 4:37, the Saints have work to do again offensively, trailing the Falcons 31-24. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Since the first day after Hurricane Katrina, A1 Appliance and Electronics and their crews have been working diligently to be up and running and ready to assist you with your return home. Electricity is on. Stores are open. Slidell, Mandeville, Lapalco, Veterans, and now Elmwood. A1 has just received 5 truckloads of brand new refrigerators. Now more than ever, A1 Appliance and Electronics is ready for you and your family. Welcome home, New Orleans, from A1 Appliance and Electronics.
Hey, this is Bobby Hebert, part of the Domino's and RPM Pizza team. Any of you fellow team members have not reported in, so please call 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217. At Domino's, we're concerned about you and your family's safety. Call today at 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217. As you return, be assured you do have a job. At Domino's and RPM, we're local and ready to rebuild. Stores are coming online daily, and we're getting stronger every day. 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217.
Here's Mark Maricelli, District Manager, Lennox Industries.
Lennox and its family of hometown dealers are local and ready to service or repair your home air conditioner. For the Lennox dealer near you, call 504-736-0428.
Hi, this is Kenny Wilkerson for Briggs Equipment. Briggs Equipment is the largest distributor of all forklifts and the leader for parts and service on all models of forklifts. They will have the parts and expertise to fix any forklift, and Briggs Equipment's rapid quality service is not an accident, it's a promise. Briggs Equipment.
The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected to home with the Big 870 WWL.
There have been no challenges. Half brought to you by Hibernia National Bank, the official bank of the New Orleans Saints. Right now, you can open a Hibernia personal or business checking account and get an emergency roadside kit free. Make Hibernia your official bank and trust all your financial needs with the one you know, Hibernia, where service matters.
Didn't want to see the Falcons go on a long time-consuming drive. They didn't. 32 seconds, 1 play, 11 yards. Remember, there was that penalty as well, so it was a 21-yard touchdown run by Dunn. Coming out with the football from his end zone is Hakeem, and he won't get to the 15. Chopped down short of the 15-yard line. Probably not a very wise decision there by Oz Hakeem, as again there's a little imbroglio around the 13-yard line that the officials will break up.
Yeah, not only that, they were pushing and shoving.
Yeah. 376 yards to 221 yards. The Saints owning the very marked advantage in total yardage, but big plays have been the problem for the Saints today, having given up a touchdown on a fumble return of 66 yards and a blocked field goal returned 59.
And you're also talking about the interception on the Saints last series that did not, it resulted in a touchdown, but they didn't get it off the, immediately off the turnover.
On first down, here's Stecker running hard beyond the 20 up to around the 21-yard line.
All right, let's not get crazy out there. I mean, you know, I know this is a good physical football game, and let's let the pushing and shoving go on. But, I mean, the one thing that you don't want to do right now as the Saints is do something really stupid at the end of the play and get that 15-yard penalty.
That's a 7-yard gain. And it brings up 2nd and 3 at the 22. 4 minutes remaining in this game. The Saints trailing 31-24. Saints have stopped themselves. The Falcons really haven't done a whole lot to stop them today. Here's a quick screen out to the right side to Stallworth. Up to the 30-yard line. That'll be a first down. As he is brought down
by the linebacker, DeMario Williams.
You know, and he's a good guy to throw that to. That little hit screen out there, you really don't have a blocker out there for you because the ball is released so quick. But Dante, big, strong guy, built like a running back, everything else. In that situation, I think Aaron Brooks felt like, man, if I could just get it to him, he could definitely get the first down.
1st and 10 Saints at the New Orleans 30, 3:22 to play. Saints trailing by 7. Here's Brooks, pumps, throws, caught on the far sideline by Stallworth. Pretty short gain. He stays in bounds as he's brought down by Brian Scott. Give him 7 on the reception. Clock continues to run and now shows just over 3 minutes remaining.
I know there's a lot of people back home sitting there watching this, sitting on their couch, and man, you got to hurry up. You got to hurry up. They're in good mode right now. You got timeouts. You got the 2-minute warning. There's no reason to have to hurry things up too much.
2nd and 3 from the 37. Handoff Stecker ducks under Smith, has the first down beyond the 40 to the 42-yard line. Brady Smith had him dead to rights in the backfield, but Stecker just ducked right between his arms and picked up the first down with a 5-yard burst. Clock continues to run, 2:31 remaining. The Saints will have to run another play before the 2-minute warning.
Well, and they need to run another play. It needs to be something positive for them, but you ought to be just, hey, keep on track, keep doing what you're doing. You've been able to move the ball against the Falcons all day.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line of the Saints. Brooks, play action, a lot of time, throws it underneath to Carney, and the fullback battling for all his work. It'll take 5 Falcons to bring him down at midfield as we have reached the 2-minute warning. Mike Carney makes it happen whenever he gets that football in his hands. He's going to fight for every inch he can get, and that's an 8-yard pickup as we have reached the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in what has been a great football game. The Falcons on top of the Saints, 31-24. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Hey, this is Bobby Hebert, part of the Domino's and RPM Pizza team. Many of you fellow team members have not reported in, so please call 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217. At Domino's, we're concerned about you and your family safety. Call today at 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217. As you return, be assured you do have a job. At Domino's and RPM, we're local and ready to rebuild. Stores are coming online daily, and we're getting stronger every day. 1-800-622-6000, extension 2217.
When life takes an unexpected turn, sometimes you need a little help to get back on track. Your Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers are here to make it easier. Right now, residents of select counties or those who have vehicles damaged by the hurricanes may be eligible for an additional $750 in bonus cash on top of our current incentives. Plus, make no payments until April 2006. Financing for qualified buyers. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See participating dealer for details. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/05. Excludes SRT models and Sprinter. Residency restrictions apply. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge are registered trademarks of Daimler Chrysler.
Allstate would like to express their concern for those affected by Hurricane Katrina. The Allstate Catastrophe Team is standing by, ready to help you with your claim. If you have any questions or need to file a claim, please call 1-800-54-STORM. Allstate also has their mobile response unit in the impacted areas with teams of claim specialists ready to assist you. Again, the number for Allstate customers to call is 1-800-54-STORM. When you're ready, Allstate is there to help. Message provided by Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois. The heart of the Crescent City is you. Stay connected and informed with the Big 870 WWL.
Welcome back to the Alamodome. Terrific football game between the Saints and the Falcons. A seesaw affair that the Falcons lead with 2 minutes remaining, but the Saints are marching. This drive began at the New Orleans 20-yard line. It has now reached midfield with 2 minutes left in this game. The Saints with all 3 timeouts remaining. Stallworth and Hakeem are split out wide to the left. Stecker the back behind Brooks. Falcons jumping around at the line of scrimmage as Hakeem goes in motion left to right. Charles Bentley making a line call at center. Here's Brooks throwing out to the far sideline. Caught by Hakeem in front of D'Angelo Hall. He is out of bounds at the 44-yard line of the Falcons. A pickup of 6 and a Saint first down.
And this NFL scoreboard is brought to you by Lennox Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, Baltimore leads Cleveland 16-3. Detroit over Carolina
20-14. Jacksonville and Pittsburgh tied up at 17 apiece. Chicago over Minnesota 21-3, and we'll get back to the scores just a minute after this play.
1st and 10 for the Saints at the Falcon 44, 1:56 to play. Saints need a touchdown, trailing by 7. Here's Brooks dropping, stepping up, and he's going to be hit and dropped. The linebacker, Williams, gets him at the 47-yard line, make it the 48-yard line of the Falcons. But there's a flag down in the secondary at the 26.
That's defensive holding. Now, it won't be a 5-yard penalty, but it brings a first down with it.
24, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Brian Scott, the free safety. Clock is stopped with 1:47 to play. The line of scrimmage is the 39-yard line of the Falcons.
And finishing up those scores, Kansas City leads Washington 28-21. Tampa over Miami 27-13. The Giants and Dallas tied up at 13 apiece. And right now, Cincinnati leads Tennessee 31-20. Those are all fourth quarter scores.
1st and 10, Saints at the 39 of the Falcons. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. Here come the Falcons off the corner as Brooks delivers the football, and it is incomplete. That time, Hall came up quickly on Henderson and dislodged the football. Would have been a gain of only about 4 or 5 yards anyway. The clock is stopped with 1:43 left.
All right, the clock stopped, and also, I don't know if D'Angelo Hall is a guy I'd want to start picking on this time of the ball game. I think he's too smart. He reads the routes too well and everything else. You've been able to work against Jason Webster unless you're just trying to trick him into a little something, think you're going that way, and they come back against Jason Webster.
Devery Henderson is split out to that side on 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line of the Falcons. Brooks drops, throws near sideline, incomplete. Henderson coming back for the ball, couldn't quite get it, and slid down. It was incomplete. He would have had close to the first down around the 30. As it is, the clock is stopped with 1:37 to play, and it brings up 3rd and 10.
Actually, I think it's pretty good, the fact that Devery Henderson did not catch that ball, because we had to reach back for it to the inside of the field. The clock is going to continue to run, so the Saints would have no choice but to have to call a timeout there.
4-down territory, obviously. 3rd and 10 from the 39-yard line of the Falcons. 2 wideouts to the near side of the field, 1 to the far. Backs are split. Here come the Falcons on a blitz. Brooks throws it over the middle. It's caught at the 26-yard line by Oz Hakeem. That'll be a first down.
Call a timeout. There you go. Aaron is trying to get to the official to call a timeout, but the official's running up there to spot the ball.
13-yard gain. Clock is stopped with 1:28 to play. The football rests at the 26-yard line of the Falcons. This one has given you all you could want. Nice catch by Hakeem as he was brought down by Allen Rossum. They are missing their nickelback. In fact, both of their first 2 nickelbacks, Antoine Cash and Kevin Mathis, are injured and out of there. And so Rossum is playing the nickelback, and he had some problems in that position against the Patriots a week ago. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
You're listening to the Big 870 WWL 870 AM New Orleans.
This is one thing that I said about Aaron Brooks. He is not the guy to carry the team over the long haul. But one thing that he can do, and he has proven this time and time again, you put him in crunch time at the end of the half or the end of a ball game, and he performs so well in that position. But don't ask him to carry your team for the whole 60 minutes.
17 game-winning drives in the 4th quarter and overtime.
2nd in the league. Aggressive quarterbacks.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Here's Brooks. 5-step drop. Pumps. Can't find anybody. Dumps it off underneath. Catch is made by Stecker down to around the 22-yard line before Brooking has him. Clock continues to run. 1:17, 1:16 left. Pickup of just a couple. Saints trying to hurry things up. Stallworth won't even come back to the huddle. He'll just split out wide to the left along with Hakeem. 2nd and 6 from the Falcon 22. Brooks pumps, throws over the middle. Catch is made by Stallworth. Spins forward to the 15-yard line. And the clock will be stopped as the Saints call a timeout with 56 seconds left.
you Saints have the first down at the 15-yard line.
You got to admit, this is good stuff.
Oh, it's great stuff.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, whether you're a Saints fan or a Falcon fan, whatever, I mean, if you just thumbing through the channels right now and you like football, you got to be watching this game because, I mean, this is fun to watch. I mean, the Falcons hadn't really lit up on their blitz package. I mean, they're still bringing guys, and the Saints are doing what they need to do. I mean, they're throwing the short stuff. They're picking up the first down. They're getting the ball out of bounds and everything else. Now, they are down to one timeout now, so it's going to be crucial now that Aaron try and work the ball out of the perimeter to get it outside, or if he gets that big lane in the middle to hit somebody in the end zone. But I'm going to tell you what, I don't like giving Michael Vick any time on the clock. No.
7-yard gain, first down, Falcon 15-yard line, 56 seconds remaining. The Falcons on top, 31-24. Henderson is split out wide to the right. Oz Hakeem in a slot right position. Dante Stallworth wide left. The back is Stecker. Brooks up under center. Drops. Well protected. Looks left. Looks right. Scrambles right. Dumps it off to Stecker, and it's incomplete. Wouldn't have gone anywhere as it was well read by Rod Coleman. He would have been there to take down Stecker had that catch been made. Instead, the incompletion stops the clock with 51 seconds left.
You know, that there was a time back when I was playing that we used to get fined for things like holding penalties, fined from our position coach. And there were certain times where a ball would be thrown like, I mean, you had like a $5 fine if you dropped a pass. There'd be times like that late in the ball game that you would intentionally not catch a ball because you knew you were going to get hit, you knew you were going to lose yardage. But I couldn't understand why they kept fining me the $5.
Second and 10 from the 15. Stecker in motion. Nobody behind Brooks. He drops. He looks some more. He throws it in the end zone. And it is caught on a sliding grab by Devery Henderson. 8 yards deep in the end zone.
That's what I'm talking about, Aaron Brooks. I mean, you put him in that situation. He is the second leading active quarterback in game-winning drives and all that kind of stuff. And right there, he showed you why. Now, you would have liked that pass to have been a little bit more in front of Devery Henderson. I don't care. It's a touchdown pass.
15-yard strike with 46 seconds remaining. Well, the Falcons scored too quickly. Did the Saints. 46 seconds will tell the story of whether we've got a new football game headed to overtime or in some way the Falcons eke it out, provided John Carney makes this extra point. Bauman puts it down, and Carney's extra point is perfect. And with 46 seconds left in this game, we have enjoyed an absolute classic. We are tied at 31.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, this is classic Saints-Falcons football. Hard-nosed, guys getting after one another. Hey, we're going to have to play until the final tick of the clock. And by the way, what a heck of a catch there on the part of Devery Henderson. He's known more as a deep receiver, but right there, he looks like he's sliding into second base to beat the tag from the catcher, and he makes a heck of a catch. So right now, I mean, the onus right now is on the Saints defense. And I'm going to tell you what, if I'm Rick Venturi, I'm not playing a prevent defense right now. You got to put some kind of pressure on Michael Vick. And I know that you can get yourself in trouble by doing that, but all the Falcons need to keep this game from going into overtime is a field goal. And I'm not going to give Michael Vick the opportunity to run with only 3 people rushing at him.
Brooks with a 15-yarder to Devery Henderson, beating D'Angelo Hall, sliding down to make the reception some 8 yards deep in the end zone. Everybody here, the biggest crowd in Alamodome sports history, some 65,562 on their feet. Allen Rossum to return the kickoff from Berger. These two teams have played some great ones, and this goes right to the top of the list. Here's Rossum from the 1 to the 5, he's to the 10, to the 15, up to the 20, still on his feet, beyond the 30, up to the 32-yard line with 38 seconds remaining. A 31-yard return by Rossum.
And let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson with an Abita Springs Water Saints sideline report.
Well, you said it right a little while ago, Hoke. You don't want to give any time to this little jackrabbit down here. He is something else. But I will tell you this is a fired-up defense that is hitting the field for the Saints right now. They've been banging on each other, beating on each other. They got to, keep them
First and 10 Falcons from the Atlanta 32. Vick up under center. Saints rush 4. Vick throws and the catch is made for the first down up at the 43-yard line. Saints tearing at the football. They can't get it out of Algie Crumpler's grasp. And Jim Mora from the sideline calls a timeout with 29 seconds remaining after an 11-yard gain. First timeout for the Falcons. They have 2 remaining as Todd Peterson warms up on the Falcons sideline, hoping to have an opportunity to attempt a game-winning field goal. He's perfect on the season, but Vic and the Falcons have some work to do before then.
I'm going to tell you what, I can't tell you how glad I am that I don't have to drive back to New Orleans, either after this game, be it tonight or tomorrow, because, I mean, I'm drained right now. This has been one heck of a football game to watch.
First and 10 for the Falcons from their 45, 29 seconds remaining in regulation. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Here's Vick throwing again, and it's going to be caught again by Crumpler, and he's going to be out of bounds at the 40-yard line of the Saints. It's too easy. That's 14 yards. The Saints pass rush not getting to Vick. He has all the time in the world, and you know what Crumpler has done to this football team in the past.
Well, you know, I mean, in the first quarter, he only caught a ball or 2, but now all of a sudden in Crumpler time, if you will, crunch time, I mean, that's where Michael Vick is going. 2 back-to-back receptions, and he's moved this ball all the way from the 32, now down to the Saints 39-yard line.
With 24 seconds left, first and 10 from the 39 of the Saints. Vick, as a flag is thrown, false start.
Yeah.
The crowd gives the Saints 5 yards on that one as Vick stepped out from under center to audibilize, and the crowd was so loud that one of the Falcons' offensive linemen, the left guard Matt Lair, was guilty of a false start.
Look at John Pease down there on the sidelines. He done picked up a towel now. He's waving it out. I mean, he's coming up there to the crowd telling them, let's pick it up. And I tell you what, they have done a tremendous job so far of getting the crowd noise into it.
Every yard is precious now as you think about the Falcons having an opportunity to kick a field goal to win this thing. First and 15 at the Saint 44. 3 wideouts to the near side of the field, 1 Crumpler in motion. Here's Vick as the Saints come with a blitz. Vick throws it far sideline. Catch is made. Catch is made over there by Roddy White. Forced out of bounds by Fakir Brown. The line of scrimmage is the 34-yard line. It's a 51-yarder if they go no farther. A 9-yard reception, 19 seconds left.
Well, I mean, what they got to do now, I mean, you just got to go ahead and buckle it up tight and try and force the Falcons into an incompletion. Do anything you can. But in a situation like this, you've got to be so careful with Michael Vick running a quarterback draw.
Second and 5 from the 35, 19 seconds left. Vick retreats to the shotgun. Calls for the football. Looks to his right. Throws it out in the flat to Crumpler. Ridden out of bounds by Cedric Hodge. A short gain on the play.
Not enough to get the first down.
No, it isn't. They'll spot the football as he was ridden out of bounds in front of the Saint bench at the 32-yard line. 14 seconds left. Just a 4-yard gain. It's a 49-yarder from here if they get no farther. 3rd and 3, the football at the 32-yard line of the Saints. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Crumpler goes in motion. The pack is Warwick Dunn. Play action. Vick's going to run with a football to his left, and he's going to have the first down as he runs out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 28-yard line, and that's what he gives you that no other quarterback in the NFL can. That's a gain of 4.
That might be what he gives you that no other player in the NFL can. I mean, Josh Bullock's had the angle on him and everything else, and he just ran past the angle.
And the clock is stopped with 9 seconds remaining. The line of scrimmage is the 28. It would be a 45-yarder as the Saints don't have enough players on the field. Now they do. And Vick is just going to move the football to his right, trying to give Todd Peterson a better angle, and a game-winning field goal with 6 seconds left. Peterson has not missed this season. There's a flag down in the secondary.
And I think that probably going to be too many people on the field for the Saints, and that was that confusion when Tony Bryant come running in.
Defense, 12 men participating, 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Well, as we said, every yard is precious, and they'll replay first down here. 6 seconds remaining as the Saints guilty of having too many men on the field. So 5 yards closer for Todd Peterson. Now the line of scrimmage is the 23-yard line. So it will be a 40-yarder from the left hash mark to win it, you would think. 6 seconds left.
Tony Bryant's coming in late again. Y'all need to make sure that you don't have too many people on the field.
Here's Todd Peterson from the left hash mark. Shaw to hold. Derek Rackley to snap. And the Saints will try to ice him with the timeout.
And let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson with an Abita Springs Water Saints sideline report.
Yeah, guys, they have it right this time. Tony Bryant comes in late, gives them a few more yards, but there was 11 out there, and they've got it straight this time. Standing right underneath the goalpost kind of reminds me a little bit of being in Carolina, although it's the opposite end, where the Saints were going for that kick at the end of the game, where here's now standing on the goalpost waiting to see if this guy can get it down the middle or not. Crowd's been outstanding, outstanding football game thus far, but this is the way what Michael Vick gives you. He gives you an opportunity, even if there's 20, 30 seconds left on the clock. So whether or not this icing does any good or not, we'll wait and find out very, very shortly. But they do have it right, at least right now. There's 11 out there.
Peterson hit a field goal from 37 yards on the opening drive of this game. He is 7 out of 7 on the season. His longest is only 38. This would be his longest of the season. It looks to be, well, we'll call it 41. From the left hash mark. Snap, placement, kick on its way, and it is no good. No good! He missed it wide to the left.
Flag. Let's hope that's not a leverage penalty. Let's hope that's not a leverage penalty down there. There's a flag right up in the middle.
And the Falcons are pointing that it's against the Saints. Let's wait to hear from the referee, and that is Bill Carollo.
Holding, 92, defense. Pulling the offensive player out of the hole, allowing his teammate to shoot two. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Tony Bryant. You cannot pull down the lineman, enabling your teammate to come through that hole. It's oftentimes something used in desperation. You didn't have to be that desperate then. Now, this will be interesting to talk about after this game as to what the Falcons did for that field goal block at the end of the first half. Was it the same situation?
Yeah, because, they ran through the Saints offensive line like Grant went through Richmond. It was just nobody.
So, Todd Peterson gets another chance. He hooked a one wide left from 41. This will be from 36, left hash mark. We have 2 seconds remaining on the clock in regulation. Will Peterson overcorrect? Will he correct enough? Will the 5 yards be the difference? We're about to find out. Snap. Placement. On its way. Split the uprights. Game over. The Falcons win a heartbreaker as the Saints lose on the final play of this game. Todd Peterson getting another chance at a field goal, having misfired from 41. The Saints guilty of holding by Tony Bryant. Instead, it becomes a 36-yarder, and he split the uprights to win it. The Saints go down in a classic football game here in San Antonio, 34-31.
Well, I'll tell you what, regardless, I'm thrilled to death with the way that this team played today. Had a lot more heart and soul about themselves. I don't know, Jim. You think about that final penalty right there on Tony Bryant. How can you call that? When a guy is just scrambling around in there. But let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson and see if he can get a better idea on it. Kenny?
All right, guys, we're going to try to find out from Will Smith as we walk off the field. Will, what a That's a terrible way to lose. It's a heck of a game, and that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was, you know. The ref thought he saw something that he didn't. He made a call. It's going to happen that way, so we got to move on and get ready for next week.
What did you guys do today? How was it that you emotionally were able to come out and play as hard as y'all did?
Well, you know, we always play hard. We never go out and give it a half-ass effort. We always go out and work hard. You know what I mean? I think defense is out there play solid. You know what I mean? Playing against a great team. They got great players. They play, so, you know, we just gave it our all, left it on the field.
Thank you, Will.
No problem.
All right, Will Smith down here on the field as the players and the squads continue to walk off. I'm going to throw it back upstairs. I'd like to probably try to grab, before he comes off, Tony Bryant, who is coming off the field right now, and I am going to grab Tony very, very quickly. Hey, Tony, if I can just grab you real quick, what did they see? What happened there?
Man, that was a bad call, man. I mean, the guy pulled me down. I was going in there trying to block the kick, and I beat him, and he snatched me to the ground, and they made that call, man. That's a bad call. I mean, that's all I can say about that, man. I mean, wow, man. I don't know what happened, man. I don't understand how they can call that in a situation like that. When he pulled me down, I was trying to get through the gap. But, hey, that's football, man. You know, we got to keep going, man. We just got to go to the film, man, evaluate, and just got to play better next week.
Thanks, Tony. All right, Tony Bryant down on the field. With that, I'll send it back upstairs.
All right, thanks very much, Kenny. Hokie, your efforts as well, and Robert Carroll, too. It was a thrilling game that came down to the final play of it in regulation. Todd Peterson connecting on a 36-yard field goal to send the Falcons back to Atlanta winners. And their record now being 4-2 on the year, while the Saints fall to 2-4. That's the end of our game with the final score. The Falcons 34 and the Saints 31. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.